Chapter 547. Indeed, a level 6 spirit weapon was many times more expensive than a level 5 spirit weapon used by kings. But to say that one needed 5 million spirit crystals was a bit frightening. It was completely exorbitant. Clang! Clang! This old man's hair and beard were a mess. It was unknown how long it had been since he last cleaned it, as it was covered in dirt. Lu Ming was stunned. This old man had actually been sleeping in the pile of scrap. This was the level 6 inscription master. Little girl, don't compare those pieces of scrap metal with the spiritual weapons that I have personally refined. Moreover, those LV6 spiritual weapons that are worth hundreds of thousands of pieces of supreme-grade spiritual crystals are all lower LV6 or middle LV6. What's the use of them? Those that I have refined are definitely at the peak of LV6. Do you understand? The moment the old man appeared, he ran in front of Mulin's and yelled, "Uncle Huang, 5 million supreme spiritual crystals is too expensive." Mulin said 5 million spirit crystals was something that even peak kings might not be able to take out, not to mention them. Even Sea of Soul Realm experts would feel the pinch. If you don't have spirit crystals, then forget it. I don't do business that loses money. The old man waved his hand. As long as the spirit weapon's quality is good, spirit crystals are not a problem. At this moment, Lu Ming spoke. Ah. Mulins looked at Lu Ming in astonishment. Could Lu Ming even take out 5 million spirit crystals? The old man also looked at Lu Ming in astonishment. If you have spirit crystals, then it's easy. Tell me, what requirements do you have for the spirit weapon long spear? The old man asked. Every martial artist had different requirements for their spirit weapons according to the martial techniques they cultivated. Some people liked nimble ones, while others liked heavy ones. Hardness. First, whether it's the spear shaft or the spear tip, it needs to be absolutely tough and able to withstand an intense explosion. Also, the spear shaft needs to be tough and flexible. Lastly, the heavier the better. Lu Ming pondered for a moment before replying. Little fellow, you sure have a lot of requests. The old man grinned and went into deep thought. After a long while, the old man said, There are very few people who use spears. I don't have many materials that are suitable for making spears. And I do have a piece of steel that is not bad. It is suitable for making the spear tip. But what about the spear shaft? We do have ordinary materials, but we don't have anything that meets your requirements. The old man frowned and muttered, Little guy, think about it. Since you use a spear, you should have collected some materials. Think about it. Do you have any suitable materials to refine a spear? If you do, I will charge less spirit crystals. The old man said. Myself? Lu Ming was also racking his brains, but he really didn't have any suitable ones. Suddenly, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. With a move of his hand, a broken spear appeared. This broken spear only had half of it. The other half of the spear was missing. It was the broken spear that was shot out from the heavenly gate. This broken spear didn't have any spirituality, but its material was indeed very tough. Lu Ming didn't know what material it was made of. Maybe it could be useful. Senior, look at this broken spear. Whoosh! Before Lu Ming could finish his words, a figure flashed, and the broken spear in his hand disappeared and appeared in the old man's hand. Lu Ming was secretly shocked. The old man's cultivation was unfathomable. He didn't even see how the old man made his move. He saw the old man staring at the broken spear. His originally turbid eyes were now as bright as 2 light bulbs, blazing with passion. The old man gently stroked the spear shaft with both hands. As the old man's palms moved, strange runes appeared on the spear shaft. This is a refining method from the ancient era. There are inscriptions from the ancient era in it. It's a priceless treasure, ha ha ha. The old man suddenly laughed hysterically. Lu Ming and Mulins looked at each other. It was just a broken spear. What value did it have? Why did the old man say it was a priceless treasure? Little guy, Where did you get this broken spear from? The old man asked. I got it by accident in an ancient battlefield. Lu Ming lied. Yes, this broken spear has a long history. Although it has lost its spirituality and only half of it is left, it's a waste in your hands. But in my hands, it's a priceless treasure. The old man laughed. Seeing Lu Ming and Mulins's puzzled faces, the old man explained. The remnant inscriptions on this spear are ancient inscriptions that have been lost for a long time. They are extremely useful to me. After I study them, I might be able to reach a higher level in the art of refining. Just this point alone makes this a priceless treasure. Little guy, give this spear to me. I'll do my best to refine a spear for you. I won't take a single cent. How about it? The old man looked at Lu Ming. Okay. Lu Ming agreed without hesitation. Anyway, this spear was useless in his hands. If he gave it to the old man, he could save 5 million supreme-grade spirit crystals. Lu Ming was willing to give it up. Ha ha ha. Seeing that Lu Ming had agreed, the elder was very happy. He smiled and said, Young lad, I won't let you suffer a loss. This half of the long spear contains a rare and strange metal called the infinite black gold. If you use this metal to forge the spirit weapon, it will have infinite potential. In the future, as long as you continue to condense and smelt other metals into it, this spirit weapon will be able to evolve and upgrade continuously. What? It can continue to evolve and upgrade? Lu Ming and Mulins were dumbfounded and shocked. There was actually such a magical metal. Lu Ming's eyes were glowing and burning with passion. That's right. In ancient times, there was quite a bit of infinite black gold. But now, there is less and less infinite black gold. It is a great fortune for you to be able to obtain some. Wait for me to study the inscriptions on it. Then I will smelt this infinite black gold into your spirit weapon long spear. The old man said, Thank you, Senior. Lu Ming bowed and cupped his fists. Ha ha ha. There's no need to thank me. I should be the one thanking you. However, with such a good material, the other materials can't be lacking. Otherwise, it would be a waste. Now, the key is the material of the spear shaft. The old man frowned. After a while, the old man's eyes lit up. I got it. For the spear shaft, it's most suitable to use 1,000 refined blood gold. 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming was puzzled. That's right. 1,000 refined blood gold is an extremely precious metal. It has to be refined 1,000 times, and every time, it has to be added with the blood of demonic beasts. Only after 1,000 times can it be refined. However, I don't have any 1,000 refined blood gold, so I'll need you to make a trip. The old man said, Where can I get this 1,000 refined blood gold? Chapter 548. In the Tianshan region, only the weapon forging sect in the north has it. Coincidentally, I once helped the weapon forging sect master. As long as you go to the weapon forging sect and say that I asked you to go, the weapon forging sect master will definitely give you a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold. The old man explained. Oh, so it's in the weapon forging sect? Mulins nodded. All right, I'll make a trip there now. Lu Ming nodded. Little guy, take this pagoda. It's my keepsake. My name is Huang Pagoda. You can call me Elder Huang in the future. The old man took out a fist-sized pagoda and threw it to Lu Ming. Yes, Elder Huang. After Lu Ming put it away, his gaze flickered and he said, Elder Huang, I still have something that I need your help with. What is it? Speak. As long as I can do it, I'll definitely help. Elder Huang smiled. He was in a good mood after obtaining the broken spear. In his eyes, Lu Ming was simply adorable. A long sword appeared in Lu Ming's hand. It was an ordinary long sword, a rank 2 spiritual weapon. It was the Heavenly Star sword that his father had left for him. Lu Yuntian had said that the Heavenly Star sword contained the secret of the martial emperor's treasure. However, there were inscriptions on the Heavenly Star sword. If one forcefully broke the Heavenly Star sword, the secret would vanish. First, One had to decipher the inscriptions to open the Heavenly Star Sword. In the past, Lu Ming had never found an inscriber to open the Heavenly Star Sword because he felt that his cultivation was too weak. The Martial Emperor's treasure was left behind by the Martial Emperor. Without cultivation, even if the Martial Emperor's treasure was placed in front of him, he wouldn't be able to obtain it. With his previous cultivation, if he really entered the Martial Emperor's treasure, even the slightest danger would be enough to take his life. Lu Ming's mind was clear. He wouldn't go looking for the Martial Emperor's treasure as soon as he heard about it. But now he had an idea. Even if he didn't go there now, he would first take a look at the Martial Emperor's treasure's secret and its general location. Elder Huang, there's something hidden in the sword. However, the sword is protected by inscriptions. I would like to ask Elder Huang to break the inscriptions. Lu Ming said. Oh, that's easy. Elder Huang took the Heavenly Star Sword and looked at it. This is only a low-level inscription. It's easy. Immediately after, Old Huang's palms glowed. Inscriptions appeared on his palms, and he swiped them across the Celestial Star Sword. The inscriptions on the Celestial Star Sword appeared one after another and then collapsed. All right, the inscription has been broken. Take it. Elder Huang returned the Heavenly Star Sword to Lu Ming. As for what was hidden in the Heavenly Star Sword, Elder Huang had no interest in knowing. When Lu Ming received the Heavenly Star Sword, he sighed inwardly. The methods of a 6th-rank inscription master were truly profound. Elder Huang, this junior would like to purchase a level 5 spear. Do you have it? Lu Ming didn't have any spears that were of great use at the moment. Before he could refine a level 6 spear, he could only purchase a level 5 spear for now. I do have a few level 5 spears. A dark purple spear appeared in Elder Huang's hand. This Thunder Wind Spear can be considered the best among level 5 spiritual weapons. Take it. Consider it a gift for me. Elder Huang tossed the spear to Lu Ming. Thunder Wind Spear. Lu Ming caught it and shook it slightly. Buzz. The spear shook and the space trembled slightly. Not bad. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. This Thunder Wind Spear was much better than the Demon Suppressing Spear. It was enough for now. Lu Ming put it away and expressed his gratitude to Elder Huang. Go. Bring back the 1,000 refined blood gold as soon as possible. I'll help you forge a spear as soon as possible. Old Huang waved his hand and said. His eyes were once again fixed on the broken spear. Lu Ming and Mulins left Elder Huang's stone house. Lu Ming, the weapon forging sect, is extremely far from the Profound Heaven City. It's in the north of the Profound Heaven region. I heard that the battle between the Heavenly Corpse sect and the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace is the most intense there. You have to be careful, Mulins warned. She was a little worried. Senior Sister Mulins, don't worry. I'm only going to get the 1,000 refined blood gold. I won't participate in the battle. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled. Oh, then when do you plan to set off? Mulins asked. Half a month later. Lu Ming replied. Since Elder Huang had to comprehend the inscriptions on the broken spear, he wouldn't be able to refine the infinite black gold so quickly. Lu Ming had the Thunder Wind Spear to use now, so he wasn't in a hurry. Lu Ming planned to cultivate in the Profound Heaven City for a period of time and refine the remaining Fire Profound crystals before heading to the weapon forging sect. And that's good too. Mulins nodded. The two chatted as they walked. After a while, Mulins bid farewell to Lu Ming and returned. Lu Ming returned to the courtyard alone. The first thing he did was to take out the Heavenly Star Sword. Powerful true yuan poured into the surface of the Heavenly Star Sword. Lu Ming sensed that the center of the Heavenly Star Sword was indeed hollow. Clang! His true yuan shook violently. Now that Lu Ming's true yuan was so powerful, the Heavenly Star Sword couldn't withstand it at all. It cracked and shattered into pieces with a bang. Something was revealed from the Heavenly Star Sword. This is... Seeing the thing inside the Heavenly Star Sword Lu Ming's pupils shrank in shock. The thing inside the Heavenly Star Sword was actually a small jade sword. It was the size of a finger and was sparkling and translucent. More importantly, Lu Ming had seen this kind of jade sword before. Back in the Blazing Sun Empire, Xian Yinqing had obtained a jade sword in the Dongyi tribe's ruins. It was exactly the same as the one before him. At that time, Lu Ming had said that he wanted to use a king's storage ring to exchange for it, but Xian Yinqing had refused. The jade sword that Xian Yinqing had obtained was exactly the same as the one before him. Just what was the relationship between the two jade swords? Could it be that the jade sword that Xian Yinqing had obtained was also related to the martial monarch's treasure? Lu Ming frowned as he pondered. How do I use this jade sword? Lu Ming fiddled with it for a while. Then he carefully poured his true yuan into the jade sword. Buzz! The jade sword trembled slightly. Then inscriptions appeared on the surface of the sword. The inscriptions glowed, and a picture appeared in the air. To be more precise, it was a map with densely packed routes marked on it. There was also a line of words beside the map. Lu Ming came to a realization after reading it. This was indeed a map, and this jade sword was the key to the martial monarch's treasure. Most importantly, there were a total of 9 keys to the martial monarch's treasure. The martial monarch's treasure could only be opened when all 9 keys were gathered. 9 keys! Lu Ming let out a wry smile. It seems like Xian Yinqing's jade sword is most likely the key to the martial monarch's treasure. But where are the other keys? Have they fallen into someone else's hands? How can I gather them? Lu Ming kept thinking. He had no idea how long it would take to reach the martial monarch's treasure. Forget it, with my current cultivation, it would be very dangerous to enter the martial monarch's treasure. I should wait and see. Cultivation is the most important thing now. Having this thought, Lu Ming carefully put away the jade sword and adjusted his state of mind. He then began to cultivate diligently. He continued to comprehend the fire intent with the fire esoteric crystal. Chapter 549. Half a month later, Lu Ming had refined all the remaining fire profound crystals. Lu Ming's fire essence had reached the peak of level 1 lesser success. The next step would be level 1 greater success. Level 1 lesser success of fire essence. Does that mean I can reach the peak of LV6 Martial King realm now? Lu Ming's eyes sparkled with anticipation. If his cultivation reached the peak of LV6 Martial King realm, Lu Ming was confident that he could fight a King realm expert. Even a King realm expert of LV7 Martial King realm would be no match for him. Thinking of this, Lu Ming immediately took out a large amount of supreme spiritual crystals. He planned to improve his cultivation first before going to the forging sect. Bang! 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 A total of 50,000 supreme-grade spiritual crystals exploded. The 9 dragons' bloodline roared and devoured all the energy of the crystals. Then he began to refine them like crazy. However, after an hour, Lu Ming opened his eyes and stopped cultivating. His eyes were full of confusion. What's going on? Why is 90% of the energy in the crystals gone? Why can't I absorb it? Why is my cultivation increasing so slowly? Lu Ming frowned. When he was cultivating, he found that most of the energy from the crystals could not be absorbed by him and turned into genuine qi. Instead, it flowed out of his body and dissipated. Most of the 50,000 supreme spiritual crystals were wasted. Lu Ming had never encountered such a situation before. Essence, wind essence. When I was cultivating, the fire and thunder essences were too strong, and the wind essence was too weak. A huge gap was formed, which led to the loss of energy. Lu Ming kept thinking in his mind, and finally came to this conclusion. But before, my thunder essence was the best, and the other 2 essences had not condensed any essence runes. Why didn't this happen? What's going on? Is it because the other 2 essences had not condensed any essence runes, so it was fine? But once they all condensed essence runes, this would happen? Yes, it must be so. Thinking of this, Lu Ming shook his head and smiled bitterly. The drawbacks of cultivating so many concepts were finally beginning to show. When all the intents condensed into intent runes, all the intents had to be roughly balanced in order to increase one's cultivation. If many intents lost their balance, it would be very difficult to increase one's cultivation. Now, the concept of fire was much stronger than the concept of wind. It had exceeded a level. It was no wonder that others said that cultivating several states at the same time would become increasingly difficult. This didn't just mean that there would be a huge resistance when condensing concept runes. That was only one of the reasons. But when multiple intents were condensed into intent runes, an even greater drawback appeared. He had to cultivate many different intents at the same time and maintain a balance in order to increase his cultivation. If you gave up on all the other intents and only cultivated one type of intent after condensing all the intent runes, then even if you cultivated that intent to a high level, it would be very difficult for your cultivation to increase. If someone wanted to raise a concept first, then raise their cultivation, and then turn around to raise other concepts, it would not work. This was equivalent to stepping onto a path of no return. Once he stepped onto it, he would have to walk to the end. However, a person's energy was extremely limited. Their lifespan was also limited. One had to maintain multiple intents at the same time in order to increase one's cultivation. This speed was too slow. There were such people in history who cultivated multiple intents at the same time. But in the end, because they had to comprehend every single intent, their cultivation speed was extremely slow. In the end, their lifespan was exhausted and they turned into dust. Some people were even peerless geniuses. If they cultivated only one intent, their achievements would be limitless. But in the end, their ambitions were too great and they died on this path. There were too few people who could complete this path. They were all rare geniuses. Nest, if I had known, I wouldn't have cultivated the concept of fire to such a high level. Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. However, Lu Ming wasn't too worried. He had the Enlightenment ancient tree. Even if he cultivated 3 intents at the same time, his speed would still be faster than others. Moreover, as long as the Enlightenment ancient tree grew in the future, his speed of comprehending the concept of heaven and earth would definitely be faster. Forget it. Next, I'll focus on comprehending the concept of wind. I originally wanted to put it aside, but it looks like I can't. I'd better go to the forging sect first. I'll cultivate on the way, Lu Ming muttered. Immediately after, Lu Ming stood up and left the courtyard. Not long after, Lu Ming left the profound heaven city. He soared into the sky and flew towards the north. The forging sect was located in the northern part of the profound heaven region. It was located at the intersection of the central and northern parts of the profound heaven region. It was extremely far away from the profound heaven region. Currently, the Heavenly Corpse sect had already occupied the northern part of the profound heaven region. The vast territory was completely under the Heavenly Corpse sect's control. Currently, the territory of the Forging sect was at the front line of the war between the Heavenly Corpse sect and the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. It was extremely chaotic there. Lu Ming wasn't in a hurry. Not long after he left the profound heaven region, he rushed into a large mountain and captured a half-step king level swift gale eagle. He sat cross-legged on the swift gale eagle and flew towards the Forging sect. The swift gale eagle's speed was extremely fast. A half-step king level swift gale eagle's speed wasn't inferior to some martial king level cultivators. Moreover, its endurance was extremely good. Lu Ming could use the swift gale eagle to travel while cultivating and comprehending the concept of wind. Lu Ming took out the Tao comprehending ancient tree and placed it beside him. Then he took out a profound wind crystal. He had a total of 40 profound wind crystals on him, all of which he had won from the Shun clan in a bet. Crushing the profound wind crystal, Lu Ming started to comprehend the concept of wind. Just like this, Lu Ming traveled while cultivating. Time flew by, and in the blink of an eye a month had passed. In a month's time, he had already refined all 40 profound wind crystals. As for the concept of wind, he had also made a breakthrough. He was only a step away from the initial success of the first stage. At this time, Lu Ming had also arrived at the territory near the Forging Sect. This territory was in the middle of the war between the Heavenly Corpse Sect and the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The Forging Sect was also a subsidiary power of the Heavenly Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. Naturally, they would stand on the Heavenly Emperor Heaven Divine Palace's side against the Heavenly Corpse Sect. Go! Lu Ming patted the swift gale eagle that he had been riding for a month. Then his figure moved and he flew forward alone. At this point, the swift gale eagle was already useless. Whoosh! Whoosh! Lu Ming hadn't flown for long when the sound of something breaking through the air rang out. 2 huge coffins stopped in front of Lu Ming. They were from the Heavenly Corpse Sect. Hee, my luck is pretty good today. I just came out for a walk and I met a little brat. His cultivation seems to be pretty good. I can take him back and refine him into a new corpse. A dry laugh came from the coffin. Today's one should be mine. The next one should be yours. An unpleasant voice came out from the other coffin. All right, I'll let you have him. Let's end this quickly. After dealing with this little brat, we'll go elsewhere and see if there's any prey. The voice from the previous coffin sounded out again. The prey you're talking about, is it me? Lu Ming had a faint smile on his face. Nonsense. If it's not you, then who is it? Little brat, don't even think about escaping. You won't be able to escape from the 2 of us. Chapter 550. Is that so? Lu Ming sneered and formed a long spear with his true essence. The long spear quickly grew to 1,000 meters long and whipped toward the 2 coffins. Its power was extremely shocking. Ah, no, it's a king of lower success. How is this possible? 2 panicked cries came from the coffins. At the same time, the coffins flew backward, trying to escape. But how could they escape? Boom! The huge spear light directly hit the 2 coffins. The coffins exploded and 6 figures appeared. 2 old zombie guards and 4 refined corpses. The 2 zombie guards were 3rd layer Martial King Realm, and the 4 refined corpses were also 3rd layer Martial King Realm. However, under Lu Ming's spear light, they could not withstand a single blow. The spear light shrouded and suppressed them. The 2 zombie guards screamed and were torn apart along with the 4 refined corpses. His true essence rolled up and put away the 2 storage rings. Then, Lu Ming did not stop and continued to move forward. After a few hundred miles, a series of explosions came from the front. Someone was fighting. Lu Ming frowned and pondered for a while. Then, he walked toward the direction of the sound. 10 miles away, 2 parties were fighting. One party was obviously from the Heavenly Corpse Sect. The other party had a total of 6 people. One of them was a young woman in her 20s. She was as beautiful as a flower. There were 2 other young men, and the remaining 3 were middle-aged men. But now the 6 of them were completely at a disadvantage and were surrounded by the people of the Heavenly Corpse Sect. The Heavenly Corpse Sect had 8 zombie guards and 17 refined corpses. Their strength was far above the 6 people. Lu Ming quietly appeared not far away. He hid in a remote place and looked forward. The strongest zombie guards are 2 mid-4th layer Martial King Realm. Lu Ming could tell the cultivation level of everyone present at one glance. On the Heavenly Corpse Sect side, there were 2 4th layer Martial King Realm kings controlling 4 refined corpses. The other corpse guards were either 3rd layer Martial Emperor Realm or 2nd layer Martial Emperor Realm. As for the group of 6, there was only one middle-aged man with a cultivation of the peak 4th layer Martial Emperor Realm. The other 2 middle-aged men were only at the 3rd layer Martial Emperor Realm. As for the 2 young men and the young woman, they were all 2nd layer Martial Emperor Realm cultivators. They were relying on the middle-aged man with a cultivation of the peak 4th layer Martial Emperor Realm to barely resist the attacks from all directions. However, he would not be able to hold on for long on his own. Kaka, that little girl is not bad. She's so soft and tender. I'll catch her and play with her. Then I'll refine her into a refined corpse and bring her along with me every day. That would be a great joy in life, Kaka." A shriveled old zombie guard let out an ear-piercing laugh. He was one of the 2 mid-4th level Marshal King zombie guards. "Old ghost, don't even think about it. I'd rather die than submit." The young woman cried out with a pale face. "You would rather die than submit? If you die, I can refine you into a refined corpse, hee." The old zombie guard let out a weird laugh. The young woman's face turned even paler. She then clenched her teeth, and lines of inscriptions appeared on her jade-like palms. With a wave of her hands, 3 battle swords danced around her body before slashing at the old zombie guard. However, they were easily blocked by a refined corpse. What a strange way of attacking. Lu Ming's eyes were filled with curiosity. He realized that the attacking methods of the 6 people were very unique. Just like the young woman, inscriptions appeared on their palms as they controlled several mystical weapons at the same time to attack their opponents. Furthermore, the power that each spirit weapon could unleash was extremely powerful. The martial artists that Lu Ming had seen before usually used a mystical weapon in order to unleash the strongest power of their martial skills. For example, Lu Ming was able to unleash the strongest power of his spear art with a long spear. As for those who used a battle sword, they were able to unleash the strongest power of their sword art. It was Lu Ming's first time seeing someone controlling several mystical weapons at the same time. However, although the method of controlling the mystical weapons was mysterious, the difference in strength was too great. They were no match for the 6 people. Not long after, 2 middle-aged 3rd-layer Marshal King realm men were injured and vomited blood. "Big brother, take the young lady and break out of the encirclement. We'll hold them off here." One of the men yelled at the peak 4th-layer Marshal King realm man. "That's right. Nothing can happen to the young lady." The other man also yelled. "No, we'll leave together." The young woman yelled. "Hee, you want to leave? How is that possible? Today, none of you will leave." The old zombie guard sneered. "Big brother, quick, take the young lady and break out of here to find reinforcements." One of the men continued to yell. "All right." The 4th-layer Marshal King realm man clenched his teeth and madly charged in one direction, while yelling, "Young lady, follow me, break out!" "Trying to break out? In your dreams. Deal with that guy with all your strength." The old zombie guard sneered as he controlled the refined corpse to pounce at the man without fear of death. At the same time, the other 4th-layer Marshal King realm zombie guard also controlled the refined corpse to pounce at the man. The man controlled 4 sabers at the same time and slashed wildly, but it was useless as they were all blocked. "Damn it!" He let out a furious roar, his voice filled with despair. "Kaka, don't even think about escaping. Little beauty, serve this old man obediently. If you serve this old man well, this old man might be merciful and not refine you into a refined corpse." The old zombie guard sneered. "Old bastard, go to hell." The young woman was in despair as she clenched her teeth and attacked the old zombie guard. However, she was easily blocked by a 3rd-layer Marshal King realm refined corpse. The zombie guard of the Heavenly Corpse sect did not seem to be in a hurry to kill them. It teased the young woman and the others like a cat playing with a mouse. "Oh, I see." Lu Ming glanced to the east and west as a cold grin appeared on his face. He discovered that there were auras hiding in the east and west. Although the auras were very weak, Lu Ming could still sense them. The auras were all from the zombie guards of the Heavenly Corpse sect. They're trying to attract the young woman's reinforcements and catch them all in one fell swoop. Lu Ming's eyes flickered. However, the strongest aura among them is only at the 5th-layer Marshal King realm. Lu Ming let out a cold grin as he no longer concealed himself and walked out in large strides. "Who's there?" As soon as Lu Ming walked out, the zombie guard of the Heavenly Corpse sect noticed Lu Ming and yelled, "Of course it's the one who's here to kill you." Lu Ming sneered. Hee hee, little bastard, you're alone? You're courting death. The old zombie guard let out a strange laugh. At this moment, the young woman and the others also looked at Lu Ming. When they saw that Lu Ming was alone and was so young, they were immediately disappointed. Young hero, leave quickly, don't worry about us. The young woman yelled. Lu Ming was alone. If they did not leave, they would also be killed. Beauty, it's okay. I'll leave after I kill these monsters of the Heavenly Corpse sect. Lu Ming smiled brightly at the young woman. Chapter 551. Brat, you're talking big. Kill him. The old zombie guard waved his hand. Immediately, a third-layer Marshal King zombie guard controlled a third-layer Marshal King refined corpse to attack Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming lifted his leg and kicked the zombie guard away. It flew at least 1,000 meters and hit a cliff, almost breaking it. It lay there motionless. Everyone was dumbfounded. A third-layer Marshal King refined corpse was destroyed by Lu Ming with a kick. Was it still a refined corpse with copper skin and iron bones? When did it become so fragile? Fourth-layer Marshal King. You're a fourth-layer Marshal King. The old zombie guard yelled. They were shocked that he had reached the fourth-layer Marshal King at such a young age. The eyes of the young woman and the others also lit up. With one more fourth-layer Marshal King, Lesser Success King, they might have a chance to rush out. Little brother, come and help me. Let's rush out together. The man at the peak fourth-layer Marshal King yelled. However, Lu Ming did not seem to hear him. He said with a smile, why rush out? Just kill them. After saying this, Lu Ming walked toward the old zombie guard step by step. Brat, so what if you're a fourth-layer Marshal King? You want to kill me? In your dreams. The old zombie guard roared and immediately controlled a fourth-layer Marshal King zombie guard to attack Lu Ming. 5 or 6 black iron chains pierced toward Lu Ming. There was a faint smile at the corner of Lu Ming's mouth. He stretched out his hand and grabbed 5 to 6 iron chains. Then he activated the thunder essence and shook his arm. Sizzle, a huge force of thunder and lightning followed the iron chains and blasted toward the fourth-layer Marshal King refined corpse. Bang! The refined corpse was directly burned into charcoal by the force of thunder and lightning. You! At this moment, the old zombie guard's face changed. His dry and pale face turned pale and his eyes flashed with shock. How could he so easily defeat a fourth-layer Marshal King realm refined corpse? How was that possible? This young man's combat strength was too strong. As for the young woman and the others, their eyes lit up. Perhaps they would be saved today. You are a D-Tion Divine Guard. You're a genius among the D-Tion Divine Guards. The old zombie guard shouted. To have such a cultivation base and battle prowess at such a young age, he could only be a top genius among the D-Tion Divine Guards. You guessed right. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Kikik, it's worth it to be able to kill a genius from the D-Tion Divine Guard today. Do it. The old zombie guard sneered, then suddenly roared, his voice spreading far and wide. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the next moment, a deafening sonic boom echoed from the east and west as coffins flew over one after another. On each side, there were more than 20 coffins. In total, there were more than 50 coffins in both directions. Ambush! There's an ambush! At this moment, the faces of the young woman and the others were as pale as paper, and they were filled with despair. Young hero, leave quickly. Don't worry about us, the young woman shouted. Lu Ming smiled faintly. This young lady was kind-hearted. However, this was already within Lu Ming's expectations. More than 50 zombie guards. Fortunately, I still have a lot of soul-sealing crystals on me. When I seal their souls and bring them back, they will all be rewards. Lu Ming thought to himself. The rewards for sealing the souls of the Heavenly Corpse Sect's zombie guards were not limited to the scaled demon plane. It was the same in other places. As long as one killed the zombie guards, sealed their souls, and brought them back, there would be rewards. Young hero, leave quickly. Seeing Lu Ming standing still, the the young woman became anxious. It's too late to leave now, the old zombie guard sneered. Whoosh! The coffins flew above everyone's heads from 2 different directions. They were so dark that they blocked the sunlight in the sky. Bang! At this moment, Lu Ming stomped on the ground and his figure soared into the sky, dashing toward the high altitude. He wants to escape, stop him, the old zombie guard shouted. Several iron chains flew out from one of the coffins and wrapped around Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his hand and sent them flying. Lu Ming rushed into the sky. Escape? Who wants to escape? Lu Ming's indifferent voice came out. In the next moment, Lu Ming looked down and took a step. After taking a step forward, he took another step forward. Boom! 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 Lu Ming took 3 steps in a row. 9 dragons, heaven-stomping steps. 3 steps in a row. Boom! The whole world seemed to be about to explode. An incomparably terrifying force violently rushed towards the coffins. Bang! 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 More than 50 coffins exploded as if they were made of paper. Several figures appeared from the coffins. Some of the zombie guards with weaker cultivations directly exploded, dying tragically on the spot. Some of the stronger zombie guards also spat out large mouthfuls of blood. 10,000 dragons kill. As the 3 intents gathered, Lu Ming's spear shuddered and fired at least a few hundred spear glows, which transformed into a few hundred tricolor dragons that lunged at the zombie guards. Cries of agony could be heard. Regardless of the zombie guards' cultivation level, they were all unable to resist the attacks. Their bodies were torn apart by the tricolor dragons, and their corpses fell to the ground like raindrops. For a moment, only some of the stronger, refined corpses remained in the air, as motionless as a log. More than 50 zombie guards were killed in an instant. Below, everyone was stunned, no longer fighting. They just stood there, staring blankly at the sky, completely petrified. Heavens, more than 50 zombie guards, including more than 10 4th-layer and 5th-layer martial emperors, were killed in an instant. Not a single one managed to escape. What kind of strength was that? Was he a greater success emperor? But a greater success emperor at such a young age? How many were there in the Tianxian region? The crowd could not wrap their heads around it. Monster! Monster! Run! Run! After a while, the old zombie guard came to his senses and screamed in fear. He frantically ran to one side. But swoosh! A spear glow fell from the sky and nailed him to the ground. Swoosh! 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 Then, spear after spear fell and nailed the other zombie guards to the ground, leaving none alive. Then Lu Ming waved his hand and more than 50 soul-sealing crystals flew out. They sealed the souls of all the zombie guards and stored them away. There are only so many soul-sealing crystals left. If we kill more zombie guards, there won't be any left. Lu Ming sighed. If he had known earlier, he would have bought more soul-sealing crystals. After storing them away, Lu Ming moved and appeared beside the young woman and the others. Greetings, Lord Divine Guard! Apart from the young woman, the others quickly bowed to Lu Ming. Such a young and powerful Ditian Divine Guard must have a high status in the Ditian Divine Palace. Naturally, they were respectful. No need to be so polite. I just happened to pass by. The Heavenly Corpse sect and the Ditian Divine Guard are mortal enemies. Since I saw you, I naturally won't let you go. Lu Ming said with a smile, Lord Divine Guard, you are so powerful. Your name is Xianxiang. May I know your name? The young woman's eyes lit up as she looked at Lu Ming. It was her first time seeing such a young and powerful genius. I am Lu Ming. Chapter 552. Master Lu Ming, you're so powerful. The geniuses of our crafting sect are nothing compared to you. Xianxiang looked at Lu Ming with sparkling eyes. Ahem. Lu Ming felt a little embarrassed. He coughed a few times before he came to his senses. Are you from the forging sect? Yes, my father is the sect leader of the crafting sect. Xianxiang had no ulterior motives. She said it directly. She stared at Lu Ming curiously. Ahem, miss, please mind your manners, the burly man reminded her. Mind what? Master Lu Ming is one of us. Xianxiang chuckled. Lu Ming smiled as well. This Xianxiang was obviously a young lady who had no experience, and was not scheming. Miss Xianxiang, everyone, I'm going to the crafting sect to look for your sect leader, Lu Ming said. You're going to the crafting sect to look for my father? That's great. Let's go together. Xianxiang's eyes lit up. Okay, Lu Ming nodded. The others were also overjoyed. With Lu Ming with them, they had nothing to fear from the Heavenly Corpse sect. Then, the group of people went on their way to the north. Sir Lu Ming, you are really amazing. You are so powerful at such a young age. How did you cultivate? Master Lu Ming, you're so powerful. What's your rank in the Imperial Sky Divine Guards? How many geniuses like you are in the Imperial Sky Divine Guards? Master Lu Ming, do you have a girlfriend? Why don't I introduce one to you? I'll introduce myself. I'm just kidding. Master Lu Ming, I heard that Shang Xingqian is the #1 genius in the Tianqin domain and is on the list of top 1,000 talents. How do you compare to him, Master Lu Ming? Have you seen him before, Master Lu Ming? Along the way, Xianxiang followed by Lu Ming's side, her mouth rattling, asking nonstop. Lu Ming smiled bitterly and cast a pleading look at the others beside him. However, they all revealed helpless expressions and turned their heads away, pretending that they did not see anything. Lu Ming felt a headache coming on. After flying for hundreds of miles, Xianxiang asked at least dozens of questions. At this moment, Lu Ming's reinforcements arrived. Whoosh! Whoosh! In front of them, the sound of something breaking through the air rang out. More than 50 people were flying towards them at an extremely fast speed. Every one of them had a strong aura. They were obviously experts. The leader was a young man in a white robe. It's Xianzhong, a burly man at the side said. Soon, more than 50 people arrived. Xiang, are you all right? The young man in the lead looked at Xianxiang with concern and asked. It would be strange if we were fine. If it were up to you, we would have died long ago. Why did you come so late? Xianxiang curled her lips and snorted coldly. Xianzhong's face changed and said, Did you guys meet someone from the Heavenly Corpse sect? Nonsense, of course we met. If it wasn't for Master Lu Ming, you wouldn't be able to see me. Let me introduce you guys. This is Master Lu Ming, a D Tian Divine Guard. Master Lu Ming is a peerless genius. Those corpse guards were killed by Master Lu Ming in a few moves. This is the first time I've seen such a powerful genius. Xianxiang stood beside Lu Ming and introduced him to everyone with a look of admiration. However, she did not see that a trace of coldness flashed in Xianzhong's eyes. D Tian Divine Guard? Xiang, he really is a member of the D Tian Divine Guard. Don't be fooled by him. Maybe he was sent by the Heavenly Corpse sect to get close to you. You also know that people from the Heavenly Corpse sect have been appearing more frequently around the weapon forging sect recently. Xianzhong looked at Lu Ming unkindly and said coldly, You're talking nonsense. Master Lu Ming is so powerful. He must be a genius among the D Tian Divine Guards. Moreover, he killed so many corpse guards in a few moves. If he's from the Heavenly Corpse sect, how could he kill so many corpse guards? Moreover, those disgusting fellows from the Heavenly Corpse sect are all so ugly. How could they be as good-looking as Master Lu Ming? Xianxiang retorted loudly. Lu Ming smiled bitterly at the side. Xianxiang was really naive and innocent. Xianzhong was obviously interested in Xianxiang, but Xianxiang still praised Lu Ming. Didn't this make Xianzhong even more unhappy? As expected, Xianzhong's face became even gloomier. A trace of killing intent flashed in his eyes. He looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, right? Now that I've arrived, we're going back to the weapon-forging sect. Please leave. In other words, he wanted Lu Ming to leave. Hey, Xianzhong, why are you like this? What's with your attitude? Master Lu Ming saved me before. Moreover, he's going to the weapon-forging sect to see my father. He can go back with us. Xianxiang's face darkened and she said unhappily, He's going to the weapon-forging sect too? No, what if he has evil intentions? Xianzhong said with a gloomy face, This is my divine guard token. Do you want to take a look? Before Xianzhong could finish his words, Lu Ming interrupted him and took out his divine guard token. Lu Ming was going to the weapon-forging sect to ask for the 1,000 refined blood gold. He couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with Xianzhong. Seeing Lu Ming take out his divine guard token, Xianzhong's face became even gloomier. The weapon-forging sect was affiliated to the Di Tian Divine Palace. Since Lu Ming was really a Di Tian Divine Guard, Xianzhong had no reason to stop Lu Ming from going to the weapon-forging sect. Humph. I already said that Master Lu Ming is a genius among the Di Tian Divine Guards. Someone didn't believe me. Humph. Xianxiang snorted coldly. This made Xianzhong's face turn even uglier. Let's go. Let's go back to the weapon-forging sect. Xianzhong waved his hand and led the way. The group continued to head towards the north. Along the way, Xianxiang followed Lu Ming and chatted with him. From Xianxiang, Lu Ming found out that Xianzhong was the only son of the weapon-forging sect's great elder. He was also the #1 genius among the younger generation in the weapon-forging sect. He was only 28 years old, and he had already reached Martial King, Realm Lower Tier. Lu Ming nodded his head. Such talent was considered top-notch even in the Di Tian Divine Palace, where geniuses were as common as clouds. Lu Ming could also tell that Xianxiang had some feelings for Xianzhong. Lu Ming naturally didn't think that Xianxiang liked him. Xianxiang was just a simple-minded girl who worshipped experts. When she saw a genius like Lu Ming for the first time, she naturally admired him and was curious about him. However, she didn't like him. In front of them, Xianzhong's face turned gloomier when he saw Xianxiang and Lu Ming chatting happily. Murderous intent constantly flashed in his eyes. They chatted as they hurried on. Soon, they had covered a distance of 10,000 miles. A huge and majestic mountain appeared in front of them. This was the weapon-forging sect. Following Xianxiang, they entered the weapon-forging sect without any obstructions and arrived at the peak of the mountain. Miss Xianxiang, young Master Xianzhong, you are back. The sect master and the elders are having a meeting in the meeting hall. I'll inform them about it, a white-haired old man said as he appeared in front of them. All right. Grandpa Zhang, please inform my father that Lu Ming, the Di Tian Divine Guard of the Di Tian Divine Palace, has something to discuss with him. Xianxiang nodded her head. Oh, all right. Chapter 553. Not long after, the white-haired elder returned. Miss Xianxiang, the sect master has asked you to enter, the elder said. Immediately, Lu Ming, Xianxiang, and Xianzhong followed the elder into the hall. As for the others, they dispersed. They followed the elder and passed through several checkpoints before arriving at a large hall. There were 8 people sitting in the hall. Sitting at the top was a middle-aged man with a square face. He was extremely burly. Father! Xianxiang called out with a smile as soon as she came in. This burly man was the sect master of the crafting sect, Xianlong. I heard that you were attacked by the corpse guards of the Heavenly Corpse sect. How are you? Are you all right? You little girl. I told you not to run around, but you didn't listen. Xianlong stood up from his seat and walked down. He looked at Xianxiang carefully and scolded her with a smile. Obviously, Xianlong had received the news that Xianxiang and the others had encountered the corpse guards. Father, I'm blessed with good fortune. I have a benefactor to help me. What are you afraid of? Come, let me introduce you. This is Lu Ming, a peerless genius among the Di Tian Divine Guards. Those zombie guards are powerless in the hands of Lord Lu Ming. Be it novice kings, all of them are useless. Xian Xiang pulled Xianlong's arm and said with a smile. Then she looked at Lu Ming and introduced him to Xianlong, and the other smiled. They did not pay much attention to Xian Xiang's words about Lu Ming's strength. Lu Ming looked like he was in his 20s. Even if he was a genius among the divine guards, how strong could his cultivation be? How strong could his combat strength be? It was already amazing for him to reach the 4th level martial king realm. In their opinion, Xian Xiang was innocent and rarely went out. She was just a little excited to see a decent genius. However, Lu Ming was, after all, a divine guard. There were still some rules that could not be ignored. Xianlong cupped his fists and said, "Little brother Lu Ming, thank you for saving us this time." "You're welcome, Sect Master Xian. It's just a small matter." Lu Ming returned the gesture. "I heard that you have something to ask me." "What is it?" Xianlong said. "Sect leader Xian, it's like this. Elder Huang asked me to come." Lu Ming did not beat around the bush. He took out the small pagoda that Elder Huang had given him. "Elder Huang." At this moment, not only Xianlong, but the expressions of the others in the hall also changed slightly. "It really is Elder Huang." Xianlong sized up Lil Pagoda, his face filled with respect. He couldn't help but think more highly of Lu Ming. According to what he knew, this pagoda was Elder Huang's keepsake. He wouldn't easily give it to others, but now he had given it to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's position in Elder Huang's heart wasn't low. Elder Huang has done me a great favor, and even the weapon forging sect owes him a great favor. It's a pity that he hasn't come to the weapon forging sect for more than 20 years. "May I ask why you've called this little brother here?" Xianlong asked in a much more polite tone. "It's nothing major. Recently, Elder Huang has been wanting to forge a spirit weapon and is lacking materials. He called me here to see if I can ask the sect master for a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold." Lu Ming said. 1,000 refined blood gold. Xianlong and the others' expressions changed once again. 1,000 refined blood gold. "You want 1,000 refined blood gold?" "Impossible. We can't give you 1,000 refined blood gold." A voice rang out. It was Xianzhong. At this moment, Xianzhong's expression was extremely ugly. He looked at Lu Ming with hostility and said, "Brat, do you know how precious 1,000 refined blood gold is? We don't even have enough people in the crafting sect. The entire crafting sect can only forge one piece of 1,000 refined blood gold in a few years. Who do you think you are to ask for 1,000 refined blood gold? Don't even think about it." "Xianzhong, shut up. What's with your attitude? How dare you speak to little brother Lu like that?" Xianlong shouted, glaring at Xianzhong with rage. "Sect master!" Xianzhong was startled by Xianlong's anger and kept his mouth shut. "Little brother Lu is here on Elder Huang's request." "What is a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold?" "Little brother Lu, a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold is not a problem." Xianlong said, "Sect master, there's only one piece of 1,000 refined blood gold left in the sect. You said it was for me. How can you give it to him now?" Xianzhong shouted again, "That's right." At this moment, a man in his 50s with a long beard stood up and said, "Sect master, since we said it was for Zhong, it belongs to him. We can't just give it to him because of Elder Huang's words. If Elder Huang wants it, that's fine. We'll forge another piece of 1,000 refined blood gold in a few years, and I'll personally give it to Elder Huang." This man with a long beard was the crafting sect's grand elder and also Xianzhong's father, Xian Yuan. Xianlong frowned and said, "Elder Huang has not only shown great kindness to me, but also to all of you. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are today. We haven't repaid his kindness for many years. Since Elder Huang has spoken, it must be urgent. There's no reason to refuse. I've already made up my mind. This piece of 1,000 refined blood gold will be given to little brother Lu. As for Xianzhong, we'll wait a few years. No, sect master, I refuse to accept this. Xianzhong shouted. Who knows where this brat came from? Who knows if he was sent by Elder Huang? Even if he was, who does he think he is? How can he take my 1,000 refined blood gold? Impossible, I refuse. Xianzhong, that piece of 1,000 refined blood gold isn't yours yet. Father only said that he wanted to give it to you, but that was only on purpose. Xianxiang glared at Xianzhong. Xiang, you. Good, very good. Xianzhong repeatedly said good before turning to Lu Ming with a sinister expression. Brat, I don't care who you are or who sent you here. Treasures belong to the strong. If you want the 1,000 refined blood gold, fine, but we'll have to see how capable you are. I heard that you're very strong. Come, let's fight. If you can beat me, I'll give the 1,000 refined blood gold to you. Lu Ming bitterly smiled. He didn't expect that a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold would cause such a commotion. It seemed that the 1,000 refined blood gold was more precious than he had imagined. Lu Ming felt a little embarrassed and said, Brother Xian, there's no need for a fight. How about this? I'll buy the 1,000 refined blood gold with spirit crystals. How about that? Buy it with spirit crystals? Fine. I'll sell it to you as long as you take out 10 million spirit crystals. Xianzhong sneered. Xianlong frowned at his words. Lu Ming also frowned. Xianzhong. Xianxiang glared at Xianzhong and said, You're clearly making things difficult for him. How can a piece of 1,000 refined blood gold cost 10 million spirit crystals? Xianzhong clenched his teeth and looked at Lu Ming with disdain. What, brat, you don't have spirit crystals and you don't dare to fight? What genius of the Emperorian Divine Guards. Bullshit. All you can do is trick Xiangxiang. Show your true colors now. In my opinion, Elder Huang must be lying to you. Lu Ming frowned. Seeing that Lu Ming didn't speak, Xianzhong became even more aggressive and said, Brat, kneel down and apologize. Then get lost, and I'll forgive your crime of deceit. Enough. Xianzhong, little brother Lu, has Elder Huang's token. It can't be fake. In the Tianxian region, if Elder Huang isn't willing, no one can obtain his token. Chapter 554. Sect Master, in my opinion, the reason why Elder Huang called a young man here is to test him. Let the young people settle their own matters. We shouldn't interfere. Xianyuan said, All right. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly spoke. He looked at Xianzhong and said, Since you want to fight, I'll keep you company. All right, I've been waiting for you to say that. Let's fight outside. Seeing that Lu Ming had accepted the challenge, Xianzhong's eyes flashed coldly, and he strode outside. Lu Ming followed, closely behind. Xianlong let out a sigh and walked out of the hall with the other elders. That Xianzhong is really despicable. Xianxiang snorted. Outside the hall was a spacious square that was perfect for a fight. Lu Ming and Xianzhong stood opposite each other. Brother Xian, how about we stop when it's appropriate? Lu Ming said. After all, he was the one who came to the blacksmith sect to ask for the 1,000 refined blood gold. Therefore, Lu Ming felt a little embarrassed. Stop when it's appropriate? Hee on the battlefield, swords have no eyes. If you're afraid, quickly admit defeat. Xianzhong's aura was imposing. Lu Ming frowned again. Buzz, buzz. At this moment, Xianzhong's aura exploded. At the same time, inscriptions appeared on his palm. With a wave of his hand, a total of 5 spiritual weapons appeared. These 5 spirit weapons were all different from each other. There were 2 battle swords, a saber, a spear, and dagger. Kill! Xianzhong shouted and pounced on Lu Ming. At the same time, the 5 spiritual weapons also charged at Lu Ming. Buzz! Buzz! The 5 spiritual weapons came from different directions and slashed at Lu Ming's vital points. Their attacks were swift and vicious. It didn't seem like a spar, but a battle. Lu Ming frowned. His figure swayed, avoiding a few spirit weapons and appearing in another direction. Trying to dodge? You wish. Die. Xianzhong's eyes were filled with vicious killing intent. He waved his hands, and the 5 spirit weapons continued to attack Lu Ming at lightning speed. The weapon forging sect's method of controlling weapons was truly wondrous. Lu Ming executed his movement technique, wanting to dodge. At this moment, Xianzhong revealed a ruthless expression and shook his sleeve. Whoosh! 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 More than 10 sharp piercing sounds could be heard. More than 10 sharp steel needles flew out from Xianzhong's sleeves and pierced Lu Ming's eyes at lightning speed. Xianzhong, you're despicable, Xianxiang shouted. Damn it, Xianlong roared in anger. However, it was too late for him to save Xianlong. At this moment, Xianlong was filled with regret. If he had known this would happen, he would have directly given Lu Ming the 1,000 refined blood metal and allowed Lu Ming to return to the Emperor Heavenly Divine Palace. If Lu Ming died in Xianzhong's hands, he really didn't know how to explain it to Elder Huang. Don't push your luck. At this moment, Lu Ming's cold voice sounded. Boom! Following which, a terrifying aura exploded from Lu Ming's body. A huge spear radiance shot out from Lu Ming's body and soared into the sky. When the steel needles came into contact with the spear radiance, they exploded and turned into iron powder. Boom! Lu Ming waved his hand, and the huge spear radiance swept towards Xianzhong. Bam! Bam! The 5 spiritual weapons were sent flying a few thousand meters away by the spear radiance. The huge spear radiance continued towards Xianzhong. Xianzhong was completely stunned. In front of Lu Ming's terrifying aura, he was like a pitiful worm. Stop! Grand Elder Xian Yuan shouted from the side. However, would Lu Ming care about him? Bam! The spear radiance struck Xianzhong's body and sent him flying. He slid a few thousand meters on the square and spat out blood from his mouth. Of course, this was because Lu Ming had purposely held back and only used 10% of his strength. Otherwise, Xianzhong would have been blasted into nothingness. Zhonger! Xian Yuan rushed over to check on Xianzhong's injuries. Such powerful combat strength. He is only at the early stage of LV4 Martial King Realm, but his combat strength should be at the late stage of LV5 Martial King Realm or even the peak of LV5 Martial King Realm. Not bad. He is so young, and yet he has such cultivation and combat strength. No wonder he's a genius among the D. Tian Divine Guards. Xianzhong's defeat is justified. The elders of the blacksmith sect discussed and exclaimed. Xianzhong was also at the early stage of LV4 Martial King Realm, but he could not withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. If they knew that Lu Ming had only used 10% of his strength, what would their expressions be? Humph! I told you that Lu Ming is a peerless genius, but Xianzhong did not listen. Now he is beaten. Xianxiang snorted and walked over to check on Xianzhong. Xianzhong's injuries were not serious. He stood up and looked at Lu Ming in shock. But deep in his eyes, there was a trace of murderous intent, but he hid it. All right, since little brother Lu has won, the 1,000 refined blood gold belongs to little brother Lu, Xianlong announced. He then looked at Lu Ming and smiled. Little brother Lu, the 1,000 refined blood gold is still in the demonic beast blood pool. If you want to take it out, you will have to wait until tomorrow. How about you stay in the blacksmith sect for a night, and I will give you the 1,000 refined blood gold tomorrow. No problem. Thank you, Sect Master Xian. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Xianlong then asked someone to arrange a room for Lu Ming. Lord Lu Ming, let me show you around. There are some interesting places in the blacksmith sect. Xianxiang smiled. All right. Lu Ming smiled and nodded. The blacksmith sect was indeed a great blacksmith sect. There were places and secret rooms for blacksmithing everywhere. Lu Ming followed Xianxiang and wandered around with great interest. As for Xianxiang, She was also chattering away. Her curiosity was very strong, asking nonstop. Since young, Xianxiang had always been active in the area around the blacksmith sect. She had never left the sect, so she was very curious about the outside world. Lu Ming also had a good impression of Xianxiang. Although Xianxiang was a few years older than Lu Ming, she was like a naughty little sister in front of Lu Ming. Therefore, Lu Ming would briefly talk about the things that could be said. Lu Ming only left Xianxiang in the evening and returned to his residence. Then, he entered the Temple of Paragon and placed the Enlightenment ancient tree beside him. Lu Ming continued to comprehend the concept of wind. In the blacksmith sect, 3 figures sat in the Grand Elder's living room. One was the Grand Elder, Xian Yuan, and the other was Xian Zhong. The last one was a burly man in his 30s. "Father, I will definitely take revenge. I will definitely kill that little bastard, Lu Ming." Xian Zhong roared, and his eyes were filled with hatred. "Don't worry. I don't care if that little bastard is Elder Huang's man. He must die." Xian Yuan's eyes flashed coldly. "Father, when are we going to carry out the plan?" Xian Zhong asked. "You've finally thought it through? Are you going to carry out the plan?" Xian Yuan asked. "Humph. I was reluctant to let that bitch Xianxiang go. But now, that bitch has only seen that little bastard Lu Ming for a short while, and she's already flirting with him. Damn it, all of them deserve to die." Chapter 5:55. It's good that you've thought it through. How can you be held back by personal feelings when doing great things? Xian Yuan nodded and continued. The Heavenly Corpse sect only used 300 years to expand to its current strength. In my opinion, it won't be long before the Heavenly Corpse sect's strength surpasses the Emperor Sky Divine Palace. If the Weapon Forging sect and Emperor Sky Divine Palace are tied together, the Heavenly Corpse sect will be destroyed sooner or later. How can we die with the Weapon Forging sect? Right now, the Heavenly Corpse sect has set their sights on a treasure in the Weapon Forging sect. They will take action soon. At that time, we will cooperate with the Heavenly Corpse sect and defeat the Weapon Forging sect together. We will be the heroes of the Heavenly Corpse sect. How many more days will it take? But Lu Ming, that little bastard, will leave after taking the 1,000 refined blood gold tomorrow. Xian Zhong said, "How about this? After Lu Ming leaves tomorrow, ask your senior brother to go with you. We will kill Lu Ming on the way and take back the 1,000 refined blood gold." Xian Yuan said, "Yes, master," the strong man in his 30s replied. "How good. Senior brother's cultivation has reached the peak of the 6th martial king realm. With senior brother's help, it will be more than enough to kill Lu Ming." Xian Zhong laughed. Then they started to conspire again. The night passed quickly. The next day, Xian Long sent someone to pass on a message. Considering that Lu Ming had been in Tianjin City for a long time, the 1,000 refined blood gold might lose some of its spirituality if it was not used for a long time. Therefore, Xian Long and the rest planned to inscribe a layer of seal on the 1,000 refined blood gold to seal the spirituality of the 1,000 refined blood gold, so that the spirituality of the 1,000 refined blood gold would not be lost due to time. Therefore, it would take some time. It would probably be done in the evening. Lu Ming nodded. He did not mind and continued to wait. Sure enough, in the evening, Xian Long asked someone to bring Lu Ming to the meeting hall. When he arrived at the meeting hall, he saw Xian Long and Xianxiang. There were only the 2 of them here. "Little brother, sorry to keep you waiting. That's the 1,000 refined blood gold." Xian Long smiled and pointed to the center of the hall. "Sect Master Xian, you're too polite," Lu Ming said and looked at the center of the hall. In the middle of the hall, there was a piece of dark red metal. This piece of metal had been polished into a perfect square, with a length, width, and height of about 1/2 meter. On the surface, there were lines that looked like the growth rings of a tree. There were more than 1,000 of them. On the surface of the 1,000 refined blood gold, there was a layer of glowing inscriptions. It must be the inscription array that Xian Long and the others had set up to prevent the loss of its spirituality. This was 1,000 refined blood gold. Lu Ming walked over and picked it up. His expression changed slightly. This piece of 1,000 refined blood gold was incomparably heavy. Little brother, the 1,000 refined blood gold is forged using a secret technique of the weapon refining sect. It needs to be tempered 1,000 times, and each time precious metals and the blood essence of demonic beasts are added. The entire process takes 3 years. This piece of 1,000 refined blood gold weighs 999,900 kilograms. Xianlong smiled proudly. Lu Ming was inwardly shocked. This piece of 1,000 refined blood gold weighed almost 1,000,000 pounds. Moreover, the process was so complicated, which showed how precious it was. Lu Ming expressed his gratitude once again and put the 1,000 refined blood gold into his interspatial ring. Lord Lu Ming, if you have time in the future, come visit the weapon refining sect more often. I still have many questions to ask you. Xianxiang said with some reluctance. Okay. Lu Ming smiled. Girl, all you think about is going out and adventuring. You don't know how dangerous the outside world is. Xianlong scolded with a smile. Sect Master Xian, Miss Xianxiang, take care of yourselves. If you have the chance, come find me in Profound Heaven City. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bid farewell to Xianlong and Xianxiang. He then left the weapon refining sect and flew towards Profound Heaven City. Lu Ming finally obtained the 1,000 refined blood gold. He couldn't wait to return to Profound Heaven City and enter seclusion to comprehend the concept of wind. As long as his concept of wind reached lesser success, it would reach a balance with the concepts of lightning and fire. Then his cultivation could continue to increase. Flying as fast as lightning, tens of thousands of miles passed in the blink of an eye. At this time, the sky had completely darkened. Whoosh! Suddenly, a ghastly white saber gleam slashed toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. His figure flashed, and he dodged the saber light. 2 figures appeared in front of him. They stepped on the air and walked towards him. Xianzhong! Lu Ming's gaze turned cold. One of them was Xianzhong. The other was a strong man in his 30s. Hee, Lu Ming, let's see where you can run now. Die, the 1,000 refined blood gold is mine. Xianzhong sneered. Xianzhong, you really don't give up. I originally wanted to spare your life for Xianxiang's sake, but you just had to come and die. Lu Ming's gaze also turned cold. Shameless boasting. My father sent my senior brother here. You're dead. Also, don't mention that bitch Xianxiang in front of me. Speak. Did something happen between you two? That bitch is a bitch. And that old man Xianlong. In 2 days I want them all dead. All dead. Xianzhong's expression was extremely ferocious. Lu Ming's expression changed as he snapped. What are you going to do to sect leader Xian and the others? Hee, what am I going to do? Let's talk about it when you're in the underworld. Senior brother, kill him. Xianzhong roared. Bang! Bang! The burly man stepped on the void, exuding an incomparably powerful aura. Every step he took in the void produced a clattering sound. Peak 6th layer Martial King realm. Lu Ming was startled. Haha, Lu Ming, my senior brother has reached the peak 6th layer Martial King realm. He's only 1 step away from breaking through to the greater success stage. You're strong, but are you comparable to my senior brother? Die. Xianzhong laughed excitedly. Die. The strong man yelled as his muscles bulged and he slashed out with his saber. The saber light was mighty, slicing the air in half and stirring up gusts of wind. In the blink of an eye, the saber light was about to land on Lu Ming's head. At that moment, a long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand and was placed above his head. Clang! The saber light collided with the spear and a powerful force was emitted. However, Lu Ming's body remained motionless like an ancient, sacred mountain. You, Xianzhong, and the strong man's expressions changed drastically. Peak 6th layer Martial King realm? Hee hee. Lu Ming sneered and stepped forward with a long spear in his hand. Mountain-splitting slash. The strong man roared as he unleashed his full strength and slashed out again. This slash was twice as powerful as the previous one. This was the strongest attack the strong man could muster. However, in the next moment he was in despair. Lu Ming swept out with his long spear, and the saber light shattered into nothingness. "Oh no, junior brother, run!" The strong man's expression darkened as he yelled. Whoosh! Lu Ming merged with his spear and performed the extreme Dao strike. The spear light flashed and blood spurted out. The strong man's forehead was pierced through. Then, a devouring force erupted and devoured the strong man's blood essence. No, how could this be? Xianzhong almost burst into tears as he ran toward the crafting sect. Chapter 556. With his cultivation, there was no way he could escape. Lu Ming took a step forward and appeared behind Xianzhong. The spear struck Xianzhong's shoulder. Xianzhong's body fell to the ground like a meteorite. Boom! Suddenly, a crater with a diameter of tens of meters appeared on the ground. Xianzhong was lying in the crater, blood spurting out of his mouth. Lu Ming appeared beside the crater and looked at Xianzhong coldly. "Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I beg you to let me go." Xianzhong struggled to get up and begged. He was trembling in fear. Now his life was in Lu Ming's hands. He felt like he was drowning in endless fear. "You said that Sect Master Xian and the rest would die in 2 days. What do you mean?" Lu Ming asked coldly. "No, nothing. I was just talking nonsense." Xianzhong shook his head. "You don't want to talk? Then you can die." Lu Ming was stunned. Killing intent surged out of him. No, wait. I'll talk. Xianzhong screamed. Lu Ming looked at him coldly. Cold sweat dripped down Xianzhong's face. The Heavenly Corpse sect wants to steal a treasure from the crafting sect. That treasure is with Xianlong. My father has already contacted the Heavenly Corpse sect. In 2 days, we'll launch a surprise attack on the crafting sect. What? You colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming was shocked. I'll talk. I've told you everything I know. Please let me go. Xianzhong looked at Lu Ming anxiously. Now he only wanted to save his life. He did not care about anything else. I'll let you go. Go plead with Sect Master Xian and the rest. Lu Ming waved his hand and True Yuan entered Xianzhong's body, sealing his True Yuan. Then he carried Xianzhong and flew to the blacksmith sect. Xianzhong's face was pale and he was terrified. Soon he arrived at the blacksmith sect. Someone wants to kill me. Someone wants to harm the blacksmith sect. Just then, Xianzhong shouted crazily. In the silent night, his voice could be heard far away. Who is it? Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately, several dozen experts flew out from various parts of the crafting school. Deacon Pang, this brat wants to kill me. He wants to steal our sect's treasures, Xianzhong shouted, his face flashing with a sinister look. It's Xianzhong. What, brat, you're courting death. The weapon refining sect's people furiously roared and attacked Lu Ming. Get out of the way. I have no ill intentions. I have something important to discuss with sect leader Xian. Lu Ming shouted. Don't listen to his nonsense. He's up to no good. Kill him. Xianzhong shouted. He had thrown caution to the wind. When he saw Xianlong and the others, he wouldn't be able to live. He might as well take a gamble now. As long as the weapon forging sect killed Lu Ming, he might still have a chance to live. Kill. The people from the weapon forging sect charged towards Lu Ming in a frenzy. Scram! Lu Ming roared. With a sweep of his spear, several experts from the weapon forging sect were sent flying. Lu Ming moved and rushed towards the depths of the weapon forging sect. Save me! Xianzhong shouted. Shut up! If you shout again, I'll kill you. Lu Ming shouted. Go ahead. We're going to die anyway. Kill me. Xian Zhong made up his mind and shouted, "Whoosh! Whoosh!" Just then, another group of people rushed towards them. This time there were more than 10 people, and they were all martial kings. Lu Ming couldn't be bothered to explain and sent them flying. Soon, he was near the meeting hall of the weapon-forging sect. "Bastard, you're courting death!" At this moment, a cold bellow was heard. Immediately after, a few extremely sharp attacks slashed toward Lu Ming. They were 2 sabers. "Father, save me!" Xian Zhong was overjoyed when he heard the voice. Clang! Clang! Lu Ming unleashed his full strength and swept his spear to block the attack. However, his body shook violently and he couldn't help but retreat 1,000 meters. Greater success, King! Lu Ming's face changed. Xian Yuan appeared in front of him with a few spiritual weapons floating beside him. Xian Yuan's face was extremely cold. He rushed towards Lu Ming at lightning speed without any hesitation. With a wave of his hand, the 2 sabers turned into 2 cold bolts of lightning and slashed towards Lu Ming. At the same time, 3 spears appeared in a flash and pierced through the void towards Lu Ming. The moment he made his move, he unleashed a barrage of attacks. Xian Yuan had a bad feeling when he saw Xian Zhong in Lu Ming's hands. He had to kill Lu Ming quickly. 1,000 dragons kill! With a shake of his spear, hundreds of tricolor true dragons roared and flew out. On average, there were nearly 100 tricolor true dragons pouncing on each spiritual weapon. "Break!" Xian Yuan shouted coldly as he controlled the spiritual weapons. A terrifying aura burst out from the spiritual weapons. Bang! Bang! The tricolor true dragons exploded one by one and turned into nothingness. The 5 spiritual weapons continued to attack Lu Ming. Lu Ming waved his spear tightly to block the 5 spiritual weapons. Clang! 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 Although the 5 spiritual weapons were blocked, the terrifying force tore through Lu Ming's defense and almost tore his body apart. He was pushed back a few thousand meters and spat out a mouthful of blood. A greater success King Realm Level 7 Martial King is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's eyes turned serious. He had already sensed that Xian Yuan's cultivation was Level 7 Martial King. Still not dead? Kill! Xian Yuan shouted angrily. Lu Ming's combat strength was beyond his expectations. "Xian Yuan, if you want your son to die, keep attacking." Lu Ming blocked Xian Zhong in front of him and shouted, "Father, father, save me!" Xian Zhong screamed in fear. Xian Yuan's expression kept changing. The next moment, his eyes suddenly turned cold and there was a flash of determination. He waved his hands, and the 5 spirit weapons turned into 5 bolts of lightning and charged toward Lu Ming. 2 of the spiritual weapons went straight for Xian Zhong. "No, no!" Xian Zhong shouted. "How cruel! You even killed your son to silence him." Lu Ming's expression changed. He used the 9 dragons, sky-stomping steps, and retreated quickly. "Stop!" At this moment, a cold shout was heard. Several spiritual weapons tore through the air and collided with Xian Yuan's spiritual weapons. Clang! Clang! The violent collision resounded in the sky. Xian Yuan's spiritual weapons were bounced back. A figure appeared in the sky. It was Xianlong Whoosh. Whoosh! Behind Xianlong were other elders of the crafting sect, including Xianxiang. "Master Lu Ming? What's going on?" Xianxiang was confused when she saw Lu Ming and Xian Zhong in Lu Ming's hand. Sect leader Lu Ming, that little bastard, broke into the crafting sect and tried to kill Zhong. Luckily I found him. I suggest we attack now and kill him. Xian Yuan shouted with a cold look in his eyes. "Ha ha ha! Xian Yuan, you've done something wrong. Are you afraid that I'll say it, so you want to kill me?" Lu Ming laughed. "Kid, what are you talking about? Die." Chapter 557. However, Xianlong moved and stood in front of Xian Yuan. I believe Brother Lu wouldn't attack Xianzhong for no reason. Why don't we listen to what's going on? Let's get to the bottom of this. Xianlong said. Sect leader. Xian Yuan panicked. All right, that's enough. Xianlong waved his hand. The coldness in Xian Yuan's eyes intensified. He knew that he could not kill Lu Ming with Xianlong's help. Stealthily, he gave one of the elders a look. That elder nodded slightly and then slowly retreated, disappearing into the darkness. No one noticed. Brother Lu, what's going on? Xianlong looked at Lu Ming and asked. Yes, Master Lu Ming, what's going on? How is Xianzhong? Xianxiang asked as she looked at Xianzhong in Lu Ming's hand. Sect Master Xian, before I left the crafting sect, I ran into this Xianzhong and one of his senior brothers. They tried to kill me on the way. Lu Ming said, What? Xianzhong, how dare you? Xianlong roared. Xianzhong? You? How could you do such a thing? Xianxiang also looked at Xianzhong with disappointment. Xianzhong lowered his head. His eyes were full of disappointment, but he didn't say anything. Nonsense, you bastard. You're the one who wanted to kill Zhong. Xian Yuan shouted again. Shut up, old man. You're brainless. But do you think others are brainless too? I barged in from the outside, and everyone saw it. Based on what you're saying, I barged in first and took Xianzhong away. Then I brought Xianzhong out and barged in from the outside so that you could stop me? Lu Ming shouted. You! Xian Yuan's face turned red. He just wanted to pin a crime on Lu Ming. He did not expect there to be so many loopholes. He could not bring himself to say anything. Xian Yuan, are you the one who ordered this? Xianlong's face turned ugly as he looked at Xian Yuan. Wait a minute. Sect leader Xian. Killing me on the way is just a small matter. Just now, I heard something from Xianzhong that is a big matter. Lu Ming shouted. Hearing this, Xian Yuan's expression changed drastically, and he slowly stepped back. Oh, something big. What is it? Xianlong asked. Grand Elder Xian Yuan has already colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect. In 2 days, he'll join forces with the Heavenly Corpse sect to take down the crafting school. Lu Ming shouted. These words were like rolling thunder, exploding in the minds of everyone in the crafting school. What did you say? Xianlong's face was filled with disbelief. The others also looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. This was too shocking. Sect leader Xianzhong said it himself. Lu Ming said, Nonsense. Venomous slander. Sect leader, Lu Ming is trying to drive a wedge between us. I suggest that we kill him immediately. Xian Yuan roared. Xian Yuan, you still dare to quibble? But you're really ruthless. You even wanted to kill Xianzhong just to shut me up. He's your biological son. Lu Ming sneered. Then he said to Xianzhong, do you still want to help such an unscrupulous father hide it? When the Heavenly Corpse sect takes down the crafting school, everyone you know will die. What's the point of living then? Also, there's nothing between me and Xianxiang. On the contrary, she told me that she likes you, but you always misunderstood her. Lu Ming's words made Xianzhong tremble slightly. He raised his head and looked at Xianxiang. Xianzhong, what's going on? Tell me. Xianxiang shouted. Xianzhong's eyes flickered. Then he looked at Xian Yuan and said, Father, let's stop. We've made great contributions to the crafting school for generations. I believe that the sect leader and the elders will forgive us. Let's stop. Xianzhong's words were like thunder. Everyone looked at Xian Yuan in unison. Xian Yuan, how dare you? Xianlong roared, his hair and beard fluttering. Bastard, you're so useless. You can't achieve great things because of your personal feelings. If I knew this would happen, I would have killed you. Xian Yuan looked at Xianzhong coldly. Then he looked at Lu Ming and sneered, Little bastard, you ruined my plan. I'll make sure you die a horrible death. As soon as he finished speaking, Xian Yuan retreated hastily. Oh no, he's leaving. Lu Ming shouted. Stay. Xianlong roared and chased after Xian Yuan. Xiang Xiang, please forgive me. Please forgive me, Xianzhong shouted. Xian Xiang looked at Xianzhong with disappointment. Then her face turned cold and she said, "This time if it wasn't for Lord Lu Ming, you and your father would have colluded with the Heavenly Corpse sect and attacked the crafting school. How can I forgive you?" Xian Xiang turned her head and did not look at Xianzhong. Xianzhong was in despair. Clang! Clang! At this moment, Xianlong and Xian Yuan had already exchanged a blow. Xian Yuan retreated quickly. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. At this moment, there were sounds of something breaking through the air around the crafting school. Pitch-black coffins appeared all around the crafting sect. The Heavenly Corpse sect is attacking. The Heavenly Corpse sect is attacking. There were shouts and screams from all directions. Ha ha ha, now you're all going to die. Xian Yuan laughed maniacally. Damn it! Activate the array, activate the array. Xianlong roared. However, in the next moment, there were explosions and screams around the crafting school. Ah! At the scene, several elders suddenly moved to assassinate the other elders of the crafting school. In an instant, those several elders were killed on the spot. You! Xianlong roared, his eyes spitting fire. Obviously, these people had all betrayed the crafting school. Haha, Xianlong, I've been in the crafting school for many years. How can there be no one? Xian Yuan sneered. Traitor, traitor, kill them. The crafting school was in chaos. There were shouts and screams. At this moment, the coffins of the Heavenly Corpse sect opened and zombie guards flew out. They rushed into the crafting school and started a war. In an instant, the crafting school was engulfed in the flames of war. Xian Yuan, you deserve to die. Xianlong roared and pounced on Xian Yuan. Don't think that I'm afraid of you. Xian Yuan roared and started a war with Xianlong. Both of them were Martial King, Realm Greater Success Kings. The battle was intense. Xianlong, hand over the dark steel heavy sword, and I'll leave your corpse intact. An old zombie guard wearing a black robe silently appeared not far away and said coldly, So you want the dark steel heavy sword? You want to go to the ancient desolation city? Xianlong seemed to have thought of something, and his face changed. Hee, hand over the dark steel heavy sword. I know it's in your storage ring. The old zombie guard roared. Brother Liu, take Xiang Xiang away. Chapter 558. Leave? I still want her blood as a guide. How can I let her go? Capture that girl for me. Be careful, don't kill her. The old zombie guard waved his hand. Immediately, several zombie guards controlled the refined corpses to charge at Xian Xiang. Kill! Xian Xiang roared and controlled several spirit weapons to charge at the zombie guards. At this moment, Lu Ming threw Xianzhong onto the square of the forging sect. With a flash of his figure, he dashed toward a few zombie guards and refined corpses. With a sweep of his long spear, the few zombie guards exploded one after another. Kill that brat! The old zombie guard shouted, and more zombie guards rushed toward Lu Ming. There were at least 10 zombie guards with 20 refined corpses. Iron chains covered the sky and wrapped around Lu Ming and Xian Xiang. Go! Lu Ming pulled Xian Xiang and retreated, avoiding the entanglement of the iron chain. At this moment, there were battles everywhere. There were battles between the Forging Sect disciples and the Sky Corps sect's zombie guards. There were also internal conflicts within the Forging Sect. Damn traitor! Lu Ming saw that on the square below, an angry Forging Sect disciple chopped off Xianzhong's head. In the end, Xianzhong died in the hands of the Forging Sect disciple. Xian Xiang also saw all of this. She bit her red lips, and her eyes were red. She didn't make a sound. Capture that girl. Around them, a group of zombie guards controlled the refined corpses and charged toward Lu Ming and Xian Xiang. Why do they want to capture Xian Xiang? Just now, Sect Master Xian shouted about the ancient desolation city. Could it be the ancient Desolation City in the eastern part of the profound Heaven continent? Lu Ming's mind raced. Whoosh! A battle sword pierced through the void and cut off the heads of 5 or 6 zombie guards. It was Xianlong. He controlled the battle sword to help Lu Ming and Xianxiang. Lu Ming, take Xiangxiang with you. Hurry and go to Tianqian City. I'm counting on you. Xianlong shouted. In the forging sect, only Xianlong and Xianyuan were kings. The other elders were all kings. None of them had the strength of Lu Ming. At this moment, Xianlong could only ask Lu Ming for help. All right. Lu Ming agreed. He pulled Xianxiang and quickly retreated. No one can leave. Suddenly, a cold voice sounded from behind. Whoosh! Whoosh! A series of iron chains pierced through the air, entangling towards Lu Ming and Xianxiang. Scram! Lu Ming bellowed, and a 1,000-meter-long spear light swept out. But in the next moment, Lu Ming's expression changed drastically. The spear light was penetrated by the iron chain, and the iron chain continued to wrap around them. Great success, monarch! Lu Ming's heart trembled. That was definitely a great success, king, level refined corpse. With me here, you want to leave? How is that possible? Hee. Behind him, a middle-aged zombie guard was controlling 2 refined corpses. They emitted a terrifying aura as they pressed towards Lu Ming. Lord Lu Ming, leave quickly. Don't worry about me. Xianxiang shouted. Let's go. Lu Ming pulled Xianxiang and rushed in another direction. However, the iron chain had blocked all paths of retreat. Boom! Boom! Lu Ming exchanged a few blows with it. His body shook violently and blood spilled out of his mouth. With his current combat strength, there was still a gap between him and a great success king. Just as there was a divide between the 3rd and 4th level Martial King realm, there was also a divide between the 6th and 7th level Martial King realm. The 7th level Martial King realm belonged to the Great Success King realm. Their combat strength was 2 levels higher than the 6th level Martial King realm. Whoosh! Whoosh! The iron chains flew across the sky, attacking Lu Ming continuously. Clang! Clang! At this moment, 2 battle swords flew over and knocked the iron chain away. It was Xianlong who was controlling the swords to help. Xianlong, how dare you be distracted while fighting with me? You're courting death. Xianyuan shouted coldly, and his battle weapon flew out. Xianlong was hit by Xianyuan's spear, which pierced a bloody hole in his shoulder. If Xianlong had not dodged in time, it would have pierced his heart. Father! Xianxiang was shocked and worried. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, the middle-aged zombie guard appeared behind Lu Ming and grabbed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming hurriedly turned around and stabbed out with his spear. The middle-aged zombie guard was also a Great Success King realm 7th level Martial King realm. Although the zombie guard's combat strength was not strong, he was still stronger than Lu Ming. Bang! With one blow, Lu Ming's body was sent flying backward. Not good. Lu Ming could not help but let go of Xianxiang's hand. Whoosh! Whoosh! Immediately, several iron chains wrapped around Xianxiang and pulled her far away. Hee, I got the girl. Now I need the dark iron heavy sword. The old zombie guard sneered. He was also a Great Success King realm expert, and he was controlling the refined corpse to kill the elders of the crafting sect. The elders were killed by his refined corpse, one after another. Xiang! Xianlong roared and controlled 3 swords to cut at the iron chains that wrapped around Xianxiang. However, the refined corpse that wrapped around Xianxiang was a Great Success King realm expert. How could Xianlong save her? The iron chains flew out and knocked the 3 swords away. You dare to be distracted? Die! Xianyuan revealed a cold smile. Xianyuan took advantage of Xianlong's distraction and attacked fiercely. Whoosh! This time, one of Xianlong's arms was chopped off by Xianyuan. Xianlong roared like a mad lion. Haha, I got the storage ring. Xian Yuan was overjoyed and threw Xianlong's arm to the old zombie guard. Dad, Dad! Xian Xiang anxiously roared in the distance. Bang! Lu Ming sent several lesser Success King realm refined corpses flying with a spear and charged toward Xianlong. Kid, you want to save her? Die! The middle-aged zombie guard controlled a refined corpse and blocked Lu Ming's path. Die my ass! Dandan smash! Lu Ming patted Dandan. Shua! Dandan flew out and rapidly enlarged, smashing toward the middle-aged zombie guard's face. Bang! The middle-aged zombie guard could not dodge at all and was directly smashed in the face. Ah! He screamed as his face was almost smashed. He frantically retreated while controlling the refined corpse to block in front of him. What a meticulous plan! Lu Ming felt that it was a pity. Originally, he wanted to use Dandan to ambush and kill a greater Success King realm zombie guard. However, this zombie guard immediately controlled the refined corpse to block in front of him, so he did not have the chance. Lu Ming dashed past them and toward Xianlong. At this moment, Xian Xiang was surrounded by a bunch of refined corpses. Even if he wanted to save her, it was already too late. At this moment, Xianlong was in danger. One of his arms was chopped off, so he was not Xian Yuan's opponent at all. Bang! Lu Ming's aura was like a rainbow. He was simply invincible under the greater Success King realm. No zombie guard or refined corpse could stop him. This kid is courting death. The old zombie guard's eyes were cold as he controlled a greater Success King realm refined corpse to charge toward Lu Ming. At the same time, he himself also charged toward Xianlong. Not good. Extreme Dao strike. Lu Ming became one with his spear and turned into a spear light. The refined corpses and zombie guards in front of him were all sent flying. Lu Ming's figure flashed and appeared not far from Xianlong. However, at this moment, the old zombie guard and Xian Yuan had already surrounded Xianlong. Xianlong was already at a disadvantage. Now that he was surrounded, he was instantly hit and his body was covered in blood. Dandan smash! Lu Ming shouted. Die! Chapter 559. Bam! Dandan hit Xian Yuan first. Xian Yuan screamed miserably. Even though he was a grand completion king, his face was smashed into pulp by Dandan's attack. How could Xianlong let go of this opportunity? Traitor, die! Xianlong controlled 3 swords and slashed at Xian Yuan. Clang! Clang! Xian Yuan only managed to block 2 of the swords in his panic. He couldn't block the third one. Puff! The third sword cut off Xian Yuan's head. A greater Success King was killed just like that. But at the same time, the old zombie guard's claw pierced through Xianlong's chest and grabbed his heart. Damn it! Dandan smash! Lu Ming roared and smashed Dandan at the old zombie guard's face. The old zombie guard screamed and quickly retreated, but it was still smashed by Dandan, smashing it beyond recognition. Shua! Lu Ming rushed over, grabbed Xianlong, and quickly broke out. At the same time, his true Yuan swept Xian Yuan's corpse into the Temple of Paragon. Bam! Bam! Lu Ming swept out his spear, and the refined corpses were sent flying. Lu Ming continued to rush out. Damn it! Stop him! Stop him! I want him to die! The old zombie guard screamed and controlled the greater Success King refined corpses to surround him. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect had taken action in advance. Only 2 of their king-level masters had come. There were no king-level masters blocking Lu Ming's path. Without a phenomenal Success King, no one below the phenomenal Success King level would be able to withstand Lu Ming's attack. The refined corpses were sent flying like sandbags. Extreme Dao strike! In the end, Lu Ming unleashed an extreme Dao attack and dashed out 5 miles away. He then took a deep breath and circulated his true Yuan. He took a step and appeared 10 miles away. Chase! Chase! The old zombie guard roared and controlled the greater Success King refined corpses to chase after him. However, Lu Ming used the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps and instantly disappeared. A few minutes later, Lu Ming had rushed out nearly 10,000 miles. Puff! Qianlong kept coughing up blood, his face as pale as a sheet of paper. Lu Ming chose a secluded place, landed, and placed the profound dragon on the ground. Little brother Lu, I beg you, you must save Xiang Xiang. Qianlong coughed up blood as he spoke. His heart had been crushed, and he had relied on his powerful physical body and profound cultivation to stay alive. If it had been an ordinary person, they would have died from such injuries. Sect leader Xian, let me heal you. Lu Ming placed his palm on Qianlong's back, and a majestic true energy flowed into Qianlong's body. Lu Ming's true essence was the battle dragon's true essence, which was extremely effective. After a while, Qianlong's face regained some color. Little brother, don't waste your Zhen Yuan. Your heart has already exploded, and there's nothing you can do. Little brother, let me tell you a few things. Qianlong panted. Sect leader Xian, please speak. Lu Ming said, if I'm not wrong, the Heavenly Corpse sect must have taken the Xian family's dark iron heavy sword and kidnapped Xiang Xiang. They must have gone to the ancient Desolation City in the east, opened the ancient Desolation Tomb in the ancient Desolation City, retrieved the corpses in the tomb, and refined them into peerless corpses. They must have gone to the east. Little brother, I beg you, help me save Xiang Xiang. After speaking, Qianlong struggled to kneel before Lu Ming. Sect leader Xian, what are you doing? I promise you, I will save Xiang Xiang. Lu Ming said firmly. Good, that's good. Little brother, this storage ring was given to me by Xiang Xiang's mother. Can you pass it to her on my behalf? Qianlong took off his storage ring and passed it to Lu Ming. Don't worry, sect leader Xian. Lu Ming means what he says. Lu Ming took the storage ring and kept it. Sect leader Xian, what's your relationship with the ancient Desolation City? Lu Ming was curious. Lu Ming remembered that the peerless genius of the ancient Desolation City, Xian Feng, also had the same surname as Qianlong. The Xian family of the blacksmith sect used to be a branch of the Xian family in the ancient Desolation City. There were 2 dark iron heavy swords in the Xian family. It was said that once the 2 dark iron heavy swords were combined and the ancient Desolation Tomb was opened, it would be a disaster for the Xian family. So, 10,000 years ago, our branch left the ancient Desolation City with the dark iron heavy sword and came here to prevent the 2 dark iron heavy swords from combining. Unfortunately, the Heavenly Corpse sect knew about it. They will definitely bring Xiang Xiang to the ancient Desolation City to get the other dark iron heavy sword. Once the ancient Desolation Tomb is opened, the Xian family will be finished. Qianlong explained. Qianlong's life force was getting weaker and weaker. There was nothing he could do. Little brother, I'll leave Xiang Xiang to you. In the end, Qianlong uttered his final words. His life force dissipated and he died. Sigh. Lu Ming sighed. He dug a hole at the side and buried the mystic dragon. However, he did not leave a tombstone. If the Heavenly Corpse sect found the tombstone, they would probably refine the corpse into a corpse. Don't worry, sect leader Xian. Since I've promised, I'll do my best to fulfill it. Lu Ming cupped his fists and flew into the sky. He retracted his aura and flew back to the blacksmith sect. Quick, take everything you can. Quick! Lu Ming heard shouts as he approached the blacksmith sect. Lu Ming flew into the sky and looked down. However, he did not see any trace of Xian Xiang. Not only that, he did not even see the 2 greater Success King zombie guards. Where did they take Xian Xiang? Lu Ming pondered. After a while, some zombie guards flew towards the north. Lu Ming followed them from a distance. They flew towards the north for at least a few 100,000 miles. There was a huge mountain filled with smoke in front of them. The zombie guards all flew into the mountain. Lu Ming stopped a few 100 miles away. He did not dare to go any further. He guessed that it was one of the Heavenly Corpse sect's bases in the Tianxian domain. There were definitely many experts there. If he got too close and was discovered, he would be in danger. Lu Ming found a secluded place and hid himself. Could Xian Xiang have been brought here? Or has she left for the east? Lu Ming frowned and pondered. Whatever. I'll wait here for 2 days. If I don't see Xian Xiang, I'll head east. Dandan, stay here and keep watch. Let me know if anything happens. I'll cultivate first. Lu Ming placed Dandan on the ground and entered the Temple of Paragon. Xian Yuan's corpse was on a platform in the Temple of Paragon. Lu Ming did not want to waste the essence blood of a greater success king. The 9 dragons' bloodline appeared and devoured Xian Yuan's essence blood. Lu Ming took off Xian Yuan's storage ring and waved his hand. A wisp of flame appeared and burned Xian Yuan's corpse to ashes. Lu Ming sat down cross-legged and began refining Xian Yuan's essence blood. The essence blood of a greater success king was too dense. Lu Ming used it all to strengthen the 9 dragons' bloodline. Chapter 560. A new silver chakra appeared. 7th chakra, 7th level king class bloodline. After refining so much blood essence, the 9 dragons' bloodline finally rose to the 7th grade of king class. 7th level king class bloodline was the same level as Xian Yinqing's bloodline. It had surpassed most of the geniuses in Tianqian domain. It was said that the bloodline of the Saint Star was above 7th level king class. Other than him, no one else in Tianqian domain had reached 7th level king class. Hoo-hoo! The 9 dragons' bloodline opened its mouth and inhaled. The devouring power was terrifying. The power of devouring has increased by 2 times. Now, even a greater success king would be affected by the power of devouring. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Indeed, the devouring power of the 9 dragons' bloodline had greatly increased after reaching 7th level king class. I wonder what kind of changes will happen after I advance to the divine bloodline. Lu Ming thought. It was said that the divine bloodline had incredible power. It was mysterious and terrifying. Martial artists had the chance to awaken their bloodline for the 3rd time after reaching the Sea of Spirit Realm. Martial artists had 3 chances to awaken their bloodline in their life. However, not every martial artist could awaken their bloodline for the 3rd time. The 3rd bloodline awakening was completely different from the previous 2. It was not fixed but random. It depended on one's comprehension, luck, and talent. Some martial artists awakened their bloodline at the 1st level of the Sea of Spirit Realm, some at the 2nd level, and some at the 3rd level, some even at the Spirit Embryo Realm. Most people would never be able to awaken a 3rd bloodline in their entire lives. The probability was terrifyingly low. Out of 10,000 martial artists who reached the Sea of Spirit Realm, only 1 could awaken their 3rd bloodline. However, once the 3rd bloodline was awakened, it would be terrifying. This was because the 2nd bloodline of those who could reach the Sea of Spirit Realm was usually above 3rd level king class. The 3rd bloodline would definitely be higher than the 2nd bloodline. Some people could even awaken their divine bloodline and soar to the sky. However, Lu Ming had the 9 dragons' bloodline. Even if he couldn't awaken his 3rd bloodline, his 2 bloodlines could become divine bloodlines in the future. He was looking forward to it. Let's see what's happening outside. Lu Ming walked out of the Temple of Paragon. Dandan's body was flashing, but it didn't seem to be moving. Continue to wait. What's that? At this moment, Lu Ming saw a few light spots flying toward the east from the mountain in the distance. However, they were too far away. Given Lu Ming's eyesight, he could not see them clearly. Let's go to the east. Lu Ming grabbed Dandan and headed toward the east. After about 10,000 miles, Lu Ming. It's Shen. From afar, Lu Ming saw more than 10 zombie guards and dozens of refined corpses. The woman in the middle was Xian Xiang. These corpse guards didn't hide in the coffins, as if they were afraid of causing unnecessary trouble along the way. After all, Xians or not. So many. Lu Ming couldn't see through at least 3 of the zombie guards. They were all kings in the great accomplishment stage. There were at least 6 kings in the great accomplishment stage. This wasn't something that Lu Ming could fight against. Lu Ming could only follow them from afar and wait for an opportunity to attack. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect was very cautious. Even when they were resting, there would be a king in the great accomplishment stage guarding Xianxian. Lu Ming couldn't attack at all. Just like that, more than 10 days passed. They were getting closer and closer to the east. The ancient Desolation City had always been mysterious in the east of the Tianxian domain. It was said that the ancient Desolation City didn't belong to this world and wasn't built by the people of this world. Instead, during the ancient times, the ancient desolate city fell from the sky. There was a strange aura in the ancient Desolation City. Other martial artists couldn't cultivate or raise their cultivation in the city. Only the Xian family members could cultivate in the ancient Desolation City. Therefore, other than the Xian family members, no one else lived in the ancient Desolation City. The Xian family didn't have many people in the ancient Desolation City, but they were all peerless geniuses. Today, there weren't only people from the Xian family in the Xian family's meeting hall. There were also people from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. The Fire Palace Master, Earth Palace Master, and Thunder Palace Master were all in the ancient Desolation City's meeting hall. Apart from them, there were also some protectors from the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. They were all powerful people. Recently, more and more people from the Heavenly Corpse sect have appeared in the east of the Tianxian domain. Could it be that the Tianxian branch palace in the central region is at a disadvantage? The Earth Palace Master said. Especially the ancient Desolation City. There are Heavenly Corpse sect's corpse guards coming to harass us. Therefore, the Palace Master sent us to help. The Thunder Palace Master frowned. Could it be that the Heavenly Corpse sect's target is the ancient Desolation Tomb? Sitting at the head of the table was a middle-aged man whose eyes were like lightning. At this moment, he spoke with a frown. This person was the ancient Desolation City's city master, and also the Xian family's family master. Beside him stood a youth. It was Xianfeng, ancient Desolation Tomb. The Thunder Palace Master and the others were puzzled. According to our Xian family's ancient records, the ancient Desolation City descended from another world. The ancient Desolation Tomb is where the corpses of unparalleled experts are buried. Our Xian family's ancestor entered the ancient Desolation Tomb by chance and merged with a drop of blood from one of the corpses. That's how he was able to cultivate in the ancient Desolation City. I suspect that the Heavenly Corpse sect wants to open the ancient Desolation Tomb and seize the corpses. The Xian family's family master said. There's actually such a thing? The Earth Palace Master, Thunder Palace Master, and the others were dumbfounded. In the past, they thought that it was just a rumor. Then we can't let the Heavenly Corpse sect succeed. If the Heavenly Corpse sect really obtains the corpses of unparalleled experts and refines them into refined corpses, it will be a great catastrophe. The Earth Palace Master said, Don't be afraid. It won't be easy for them to open the ancient Desolation Tomb. They need 2 keys. Our ancient Desolation City only has 1 key. The other key was taken away by another branch of the Xian family 10,000 years ago. The ancient Desolation City's city master said. That's good. The few of them heaved a sigh of relief. A few days ago, the Heavenly Corpse sect would occasionally attack. But these few days, the Heavenly Corpse sect has gone into hibernation. I wonder what their goal is. The Fire Palace Master said. No matter what their goal is, we just need to prepare our defenses. The Thunder Palace Master said. After that, the crowd continued to discuss for a while before dispersing one by one. Only the ancient city master was still frowning. Feng, if anything happens, you must escape. Your life is more important. Do you understand? The ancient city master instructed. Father, Xianfeng wanted to say something, but stopped. Remember, our Xian family can't end here. This time, I have a bad premonition. The ancient city master said. Chapter 561. In the blink of an eye, another 5 days had passed. Whoosh! Whoosh! Early in the morning, there were sounds of something breaking through the air. There were at least 1,000 coffins flying towards the ancient desolate city from all directions. Not good. The Heavenly Corpse sect has launched an attack. There are so many coffins. A scream came from the ancient desolate city and spread throughout the city. Prepare to meet the enemy. The ancient desolate city, Lord appeared in the air and ordered loudly. In the ancient desolate city, there were at least a few thousand people running. Whoosh! Whoosh! More than a dozen figures appeared beside the ancient desolate city Lord. They were the Thunder Palace Lord, Fire Palace Lord, and some other experts from the ancient desolate city. What's going on? Why did the Heavenly Corpse sect launch an attack today and send out so many people? The Earth Palace Lord roared, full of doubts. Perhaps the person the Heavenly Corpse sect is waiting for has arrived. The ancient desolate city Lord sighed. What do you mean the person they are waiting for has arrived? Who are they waiting for? Everyone was puzzled. Ka! Over 1,000 coffins opened, and corpse guards appeared in the air, carrying refined corpses. Hee. Ancient desolate city Lord, hand over the black iron heavy sword and let us open the ancient desolate's tomb. We can consider letting you go. An old zombie guard sneered. Dream on. Even if you get my black iron heavy sword, you can't open the ancient desolate's tomb. The ancient desolate city Lord said. Really? Do you think we don't know? We have already investigated clearly. There are 2 keys to the ancient desolate's tomb. If we don't get them, why would we attack? Bring them here. The old zombie guard waved his hand, and a zombie guard appeared with a beautiful young woman. This woman was Xian Xiang. This is the descendant of the Xian family that left 10,000 years ago. We have already gotten the key. As long as the 2 keys are combined, we can open the ancient desolate's tomb. Hand over your black iron heavy sword. The old zombie guard sneered. The ancient desolate city Lord's face was extremely ugly. You want me to hand it over? Impossible unless I die. The ancient desolate city Lord roared. Stubborn. Since that's the case, kill. The old zombie guard waved his hand. The zombie guards controlled the refined corpses and charged towards the ancient desolate city Lord. A fierce battle broke out in an instant. Thousands of guards controlled more than 2,000 refined corpses to attack the ancient desolate city. Although the ancient desolate city's Xian family did not have many people, they still had several thousand. Together with the reinforcements from the Heavenly God Palace, they engaged in an intense battle with the Heavenly Corpse sect. Boom! Boom! The Thunder Palace Master, the Fire Palace Master, the Earth Palace Master, and the Ancient Desolation City Master all released powerful auras that were as dazzling as 4 small suns. With a wave of his hand, flickering lightning and blazing flames spread out in all directions. Dozens of refined corpses were instantly torn apart. Hee for 9th layer Martial Kings. Good, after killing them, I can refine another 4 powerful refined corpses. A sneer was heard. Then, for figures pounced toward Hallmaster Lei and the others. Among the 4 figures, 2 of them were gigantic demonic beasts. They were demonic corpses, and their bodies exuded a powerful aura. 2 of them were human corpses, but they wore armor and held spears as they charged towards the Thunder Palace Master and the others. These 2 refined corpses were completely different from the other refined corpses. The Thunder Palace Master and the others did not dare to be careless and engaged in a fierce battle with these refined corpses. For a moment, it was a draw. Ah! Screams could be heard from all over the ancient desolate city as people were killed. Lu Ming was hiding on a mountain peak outside the ancient desolate city. So many experts. I didn't expect the Heavenly God Palace to send a few palace masters, including the original strength of the ancient desolate city. There are 8 great perfection kings. Lu Ming pondered as he sensed the auras in the distance. Apart from the 3 palace masters, the heavenly god palace also had 2 great perfection kings. As for the ancient desolate city itself, it also had 3 great perfection kings. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect had clearly come prepared. They had sent more than 8 great perfection kings, including the refined corpses they controlled. Their strength was clearly above the ancient desolate cities. With Lu Ming's cultivation, he would not be of much use if he participated. I'll wait and see. I'll take the opportunity to save Xianxiang. Lu Ming made up his mind. He hid there, retracted his aura, and remained motionless. As time passed, the battle became even more intense. People were constantly being killed in the ancient desolate city, and the smell of blood permeated the entire city. As for the Thunder Palace Master and the other great perfection kings, they were under even more pressure. Apart from the 4 refined corpses from before, there were even more refined corpses attacking them. Immediately they were at a disadvantage. Charge! Let's join forces and charge out. The Thunder Palace Master roared. No, if we charge out, everyone else will die. Moreover, the ancient desolate tomb cannot be opened. The ancient desolate city master roared. At this time we can't care so much. If we don't charge out, we will all die. The Thunder Palace Master roared. He regretted taking on this mission. However, the ancient desolate city master and the Fire Palace Master did not listen to him. Damn it! The Thunder Palace Master roared. With a wave of his hand, thunder rumbled and struck forward. The 2 refined corpses attacking him were forced back. He then charged forward, wanting to break out of the encirclement. You actually ran away. The Fire Palace Master roared. A bunch of fools. Who is willing to stay here and die? The Thunder Palace Master sneered and charged forward. However, Xiao! Iron chains appeared and 2 powerful refined corpses appeared, blocking the Thunder Palace Master's path. Behind him, the 2 refined corpses charged forward. There was no way out. Ah, damn it! The Thunder Palace Master roared and was forced back. I have already sent a message to the Palace Master to ask for reinforcements. As long as we can hold on for an hour, the Palace Master will be able to arrive. The Fire Palace Master shouted. There's a way. We can retreat to the edge of the ancient desolate tomb. Our Xian family has been inscribing inscription arrays around the tomb for generations. After so many years, the inscription arrays there have become quite powerful. We can retreat there and activate the inscription arrays. We can definitely hold on for an hour, the ancient desolate city master said. All right, let's do that. The Fire Palace Master and the Earth Palace Master both agreed. The Thunder Palace Master helplessly followed them and charged into the ancient desolate tomb. Gather, gather. We will retreat to the ancient desolate tomb together. The ancient desolate city Master roared as he retreated. He gathered the remaining members of the Xian family and retreated to the ancient desolate tomb together. However, the Heavenly Corpse sect tried their best to stop them. There were killings everywhere, and not many people could shake off their opponents to join them. In the end, only a few hundred people rushed to the edge of the ancient desolate tomb. Activate the array. The ancient desolate city master roared. His eyes were filled with pain. Once they activated the array, the people in the other parts of the ancient desolation city would only die. However, they had no choice but to do so now. Chapter 562. A light screen appeared in front of the city master of the ancient desolation city. Boom! 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 Those powerful refined corpses were constantly attacking the light barrier. The light barrier was constantly trembling, but it didn't break. It firmly blocked the attacks. Damn it, attack! A greater success king, Zombie Guard roared and ordered the other zombie guards to control the refined corpses to attack. However, the inscription array was extremely strong and couldn't be broken in a short period of time. City Lord of the ancient desolate city, are you so heartless as to hide inside and watch your clansmen get killed? An old zombie guard appeared and sneered. Ah, ah. Miserable cries could be heard all around. They were all from the Xian family. Kiki, the ancient city lord, clenched his teeth and tears welled up in his eyes. Ah, damn it. The other Xian family members, such as Xian Feng, who had entered the array, stared outside with red eyes. Don't kill those Xian family members yet. Take them down and kill them here. The old zombie guard ordered. Soon, the Xian family members were injured and brought to the ancient city lord's tomb. City lord, save us. Some of the more cowardly ones begged. However, the ancient city lord clenched his fists and didn't say a word. It was said that once the ancient city lord's tomb was opened, there would be a disaster. Kill. The old zombie guard ordered. Whoosh, whoosh. The iron chain was like a long spear that pierced through the Xian family members and killed them all. Ah, damn it, damn it. Xian Feng and the others roared. Soon, more Xian family members were brought in and killed. Not only the Xian family members, but even the Fire Palace Lord and the others were furious. Open the inscription array and hand over the black iron sword. Then we can spare their lives. The old zombie guard sneered. Don't even think about it. The ancient city lord roared. His eyes were red and filled with killing intent. All right, continue to kill. Then more Xian family members were brought in. Father, father, save me. A loud shout came from a beautiful girl in her 20s. Minner. The ancient city lord shouted. Ha ha ha. So this is your daughter. Good, good. City lord of the ancient desolation city, I wonder what it would be like for you to watch your daughter copulate with a hero of the heavenly corpse sect in public. I'm really looking forward to it. You, go and take off her clothes. I'll leave this cushy task to you. The old zombie guard pointed at a pale-faced, middle-aged zombie guard. Thank you, elder. The middle-aged zombie guard was overjoyed. His eyes shone with a lustful light as he walked towards the beautiful woman. No, don't come over. Despair filled the beautiful woman's face. Bastard, you damned bastard. The Fire Palace master roared. Min or kill. Xian Feng roared and was about to rush out, but he was slapped back by the city lord. Remember, don't let them enter the desolate ancient tomb. Guard it with the great formation and wait for rescue. The city lord of the ancient desolation city scolded Xian Feng. Then his eyes turned cold, and he dashed out of the formation toward Xian Min. Father! Xian Feng roared. Hee, you're finally willing to come out? Take him down. The old zombie guard waved his hand, and a few greater success kings controlled the refined corpses to attack the city lord of the ancient desolation city. Kill! The city lord of the ancient desolation city emitted a blazing light. He slashed down with his battle sword, and the middle-aged zombie guard was cut in half. The sword Qi slashed out, and a refined corpse of the martial king realm was cut in half. The city lord of the ancient desolation city's aura was much stronger than before. A secret technique that burns one's essence, Qi, and soul. Do you want to die? The old zombie guard roared. The city lord of the ancient desolation city burned his essence, Qi, and soul. It was a secret technique of the Xian family. His battle strength skyrocketed, but he would definitely die in less than 10 minutes. Min follow me. I'll bring you out. The city lord of the ancient desolation city said to the beautiful woman. He grabbed her hand and dashed out. Stop him! The old zombie guard roared. Immediately, the experts among the zombie guards attacked. 5 refined corpses that were equivalent to martial king realm cultivators charged towards the city lord of the ancient desolation city. Get out of my way! The city lord of the ancient desolation city held his sword with one hand, and his aura was shocking. He slashed out, and a martial king realm corpse was sent flying. It was almost cut in half. The city lord of the ancient desolation city's battle strength skyrocketed after using the secret technique that burned his essence, Qi, and spirit. He was infinitely close to a peak king realm cultivator. The sword Chi swept out, and several martial King Realm corpses were sent flying. There were even 7 or 8 zombie guards that were swept by the sword Chi and killed. The city lord of the ancient Desolation City rushed out with Xianmin. Back off. Let's work together to control the dragon corpse. The old zombie guard roared. Whoosh! A huge coffin flew down from the sky. This coffin was hundreds of meters long and more than 50 meters wide. It pressed down on the city lord of the ancient Desolation City. Break! The city lord of the ancient Desolation City slashed out, and the coffin exploded. However, a huge creature emerged from the coffin. Its winding body was hundreds of meters long and covered with scales. It had 2 horns on its head and 4 claws under its abdomen. It was the corpse of a flood dragon. Whoosh! Whoosh! At least 10 zombie guards flew onto the flood dragon corpse. Their bodies were filled with corpse chi. These 10 zombie guards were all at the peak King Realm. At this moment, they were controlling the flood dragon corpse together. Roar! Suddenly, the flood dragon corpse let out a huge roar. The roar formed a huge storm that rushed toward the city lord of the ancient Desolation City. Not good. The city lord of the ancient Desolation City's face changed drastically. He slashed out with his sword, and the bright sword Chi split the storm apart. However, his body also retreated rapidly. Whoosh! The flood dragon corpse moved, and its 200-meter-long body rushed toward the city lord of the ancient Desolation City. At the same time, it clawed down. Its speed was as fast as lightning. The city lord of the ancient Desolation City roared and slashed out with his sword. However, it was useless. The sword Chi was scattered by the flood dragon claw. The flood dragon claw hit the city lord of the ancient Desolation City heavily. The city lord of the ancient Desolation City was sent flying like a cannonball. He crashed into the light screen of the inscription array in front of the ancient Desolation Tomb and spat out blood. As for Xianmin, needless to say, she was torn apart by this attack. How could this be? The city lord of the ancient Desolation City roared. He couldn't bear it. Dad, Min, Xian Feng also roared. Inside the array, everyone's faces were filled with despair. The Sky Corpse sect even had a flood dragon corpse. From the previous exchange, the flood dragon corpse was too powerful. Its battling power was unparalleled. It was probably close to the Sea of Souls realm. Could this inscription array block it? The old zombie guard waved his hand and collected a strand of Xian Min's blood. He sneered. We have the blood of this descendant of the Xian family. All that is left is the black iron heavy sword. Continue to attack. The old zombie guard waved his hand. Roar! The flood dragon corpse continued to attack. The city lord of the ancient Desolation City tried his best to block out the attack. However, the difference was too great. He was beaten until he spat out blood. All of the bones in his body were broken. He laid on the ground, and his chi was weakening rapidly. Get the hell back! Xian Feng roared and wanted to rush out. However, he was stopped by the city lord. The old zombie guard walked to the city lord of the ancient Desolation City and took the storage ring of the city lord. The next moment, a black iron heavy sword appeared in the hands of the old zombie guard. Ha ha ha, 2 keys in hand. Now attack this array. Chapter 563. The flood dragon corpse rushed forward and bombarded the inscription array. The inscription array trembled violently like water ripples. Inside, many people revealed looks of fear. Boom! Boom! In less than 10 minutes, the inscription array let out a terrifying roar and burst. After a violent tremor, the inscription array collapsed. The inscription array was broken. Sigh, it's useless after all. The desolate city lord sighed. Then his life was extinguished. Gather together and defend with all your strength. The fire palace lord roared. More than 100 people retreated to a corner and gathered together, cautiously staring at the people of the Sky Corpse sect. At this point, they could only fight to the death. Damn it, damn it. Am I going to die here today? The Fire Palace Lord roared in his heart, extremely unwilling. He. The old zombie guard led a group of experts and Xian Xiang to the front of the desolate ancient tomb. They were now in a vast square in front of the desolate ancient tomb. The desolate ancient tomb was like a magnificent palace. It was hundreds of meters high and incomparably huge. Surround them first. It won't be too late to kill them after the door of the desolate ancient tomb opens, the old zombie guard ordered. Just in case, if they killed the people of the Xian family, no one would ask if there were any problems when the desolate ancient tomb was opened. With a wave of his hand, a force appeared and cut a wound on Xian Xiang's arm. A trace of blood was attracted to the old zombie guard's hand. Xian Xiang cried out, and cold sweat flowed down. You guys guard here and stop them. You guys follow me to open the desolate ancient tomb. The old zombie guard ordered. Immediately, a group of experts, including the flood dragon corpse, were left behind. The old zombie guard led some experts and walked towards the desolate ancient tomb. At this time, no one noticed that a figure wearing a zombie guard's black robe silently appeared behind several zombie guards. This person was, of course, Lu Ming. He killed a zombie guard and changed into the zombie guard's black robe. He came in from the back without being noticed by the other zombie guards. Now the battle in the desolate ancient tomb was basically over. The Xian family had suffered a crushing defeat. Basically, all of them were dead. Only a few people in the square of the desolate ancient tomb remained. Hee, little girl, behave yourself. When the desolate ancient tomb is successfully opened, I'll send you on your way. ALV-7 Marshal King, Realm, Zombie Guard grabbed Xianxiang's arm and sneered. On Xianxiang's arm, blood flowed, making her face pale. Now, Lu Ming's eyes flashed. A portion of the experts followed the old zombie guards to the desolate ancient tomb. The remaining experts controlled the flood dragon's corpse and stared at the fire hall master and the others. There weren't any experts beside Lu Ming. That king who had caught the Xian Xiang was the strongest. Whoosh! Lu Ming's figure flashed past several zombie guards. Then he brazenly launched an extreme strike. The spear light turned into a streamer of light, streaking across the void like a meteor. It struck towards the zombie guard's head with peerless speed. That zombie guard never even dreamed that someone would launch a sneak attack from behind. Before it could even react, its head was pierced by Lu Ming, and it died on the spot. Phew! Lu Ming appeared beside Xianxiang and took a deep breath. He then pulled Xianxiang and soared into the sky. Who's there? Courting death. At this moment, the other zombie guards finally reacted and let out roars. Several iron chains pierced towards Lu Ming. Stay here. On the flood dragon's head, a LV-9 Marshal King Realm zombie guard let out a furious roar. His figure flashed with an unbelievable speed. Before Lu Ming could even execute the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps, he had already closed in on Lu Ming. A mighty corpse chi was fired in Lu Ming's direction. Bang! Lu Ming thrust his spear forward with all his might, colliding with the corpse chi. However, his body was knocked back 1,000 meters, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Lu Ming! It's Lu Ming! At this moment, the fire hall master and the others let out cries of disbelief when they saw Lu Ming's appearance. Never in their wildest dreams did they expect to see Lu Ming here. Furthermore, Lu Ming's strength was unbelievably powerful. He had managed to kill a 7th-layer Marshal King Realm zombie guard with a sneak attack, and was even able to resist the attack of a 9th-layer Marshal King Realm zombie guard. Although the 9th-layer Marshal King Realm zombie guard had not used much of its strength in a hurry, it was still terrifying enough. Due to the delay, the surrounding zombies rushed toward Lu Ming, trying to surround him. Extreme Dao Strike. Lu Ming dashed toward a direction where there were no experts around. The Extreme Dao Strike knocked away more than 10 zombies and zombie guards. Trying to run away? Stay here. The LV-9 Marshal King Realm zombie guard dashed forward and chased after Lu Ming. Attack! Break out of the encirclement! At this moment, the fire hall master let out a roar. They were trying to take advantage of the opportunity to break out of the encirclement. Courting death! The zombie guards on the flood dragon yelled. They controlled the flood dragon's corpse to attack the fire hall master and the others. However, a few of them had gone to the desolate ancient tomb. An LV-9 Marshal King Realm zombie guard had chased after Lu Ming. There were only 5 of them left. It was extremely difficult to control the flood dragon's corpse, causing its movements to become slower than before. Damn it! The LV-9 Marshal King Realm zombie guard could only turn around and fly toward the flood dragon's corpse to help control it. Without the pursuit of the greater success King Realm zombie, Lu Ming was unstoppable. He knocked away more than 10 zombies in a row. Master Lu Ming, how is my father? Seeing Lu Ming, Xian Xiang's eyes lit up as she asked weakly. I'll tell you later. Lu Ming channeled a stream of true yuan to stop Xian Xiang's bleeding and rushed out with all his strength. It seemed that Lu Ming was about to break out of the encirclement. Boom! At this moment, a violent explosion could be heard coming from the direction of the desolate ancient tomb. Boom! 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 Then a series of violent explosions could be heard, causing the entire desolate ancient city to shake violently. In the next moment, a bright beam of light shot up into the sky from the desolate ancient tomb, straight into the clouds. That is, at that moment, a scene that left everyone dumbfounded appeared. When the beam of light dissipated, a huge stone gate suddenly appeared between heaven and earth. This stone gate stood between heaven and earth, straight into the clouds. It was simply too huge. A vast and boundless heaven's might was emitted from the stone door. The gate of heaven, the gate of heaven! Lu Ming exclaimed. This huge stone gate was very similar to the gate of heaven that Lu Ming had encountered in the Qianjiang waters. Even its aura was almost the same. However, the stone gate in front of him was extremely huge, many times bigger than the gate of heaven that he had seen in the Qianjiang waters. How could this be? How could such a huge gate of heaven appear here? Whoosh, whoosh! At this moment, a terrifying suction force erupted from the gate of heaven. Oh no, I'm going to be sucked in. Lu Ming was shocked. He realized that he could not rush out. A powerful suction force was acting on him from the gate of heaven. Chapter 564. Not good. Thunder Hall Master, Fire Hall Master, and the others also rushed out frantically, but it was useless. They couldn't rush out at all. They were attracted by the gate of heaven and slowly flew towards it. Roar! The experts of the Heavenly Corpse sect controlled the dragon corpse to fly out, but it was useless. It was also attracted by the gate of heaven. This time, not only did the gate of heaven not erupt any treasures, but it also sucked them in. Rumble! At this moment, the ancient desolation city shook violently. Everyone was shocked to find that the ancient desolation city actually left the ground and flew towards the gate of heaven. The entire ancient desolation city was about to be sucked away. It was too shocking. How could this be? How could this be? At the entrance of the ancient desolation tomb, the old zombie guard screamed. They had just opened the door of the ancient desolation tomb and this scene appeared. It was completely different from the rumors. But no matter how they struggled, it was useless. They kept getting closer to the gate of heaven. Whoosh! Suddenly, the suction force in the gate of heaven erupted violently and instantly increased by dozens of times. Lu Ming only felt an irresistible force pulling him towards the gate of heaven. On the side, Xian Xiang also followed. Everyone, including the entire ancient desolation city, flew towards the gate of heaven at an extremely fast speed. Buzz! When Lu Ming flew into the gate of heaven, he felt the world spinning. His vision turned black and he didn't know anything. He seemed to be floating in endless darkness. After an unknown period of time, Lu Ming woke up and a ray of sunlight pierced his eyes. Not good. Lu Ming suddenly got up and found himself lying in a mountain forest. Where is this? Lu Ming hurriedly looked around. There was no one around, and Xianxiang was not by his side. All around him were huge, ancient trees. However, the ancient trees around him were too huge. The 1,000-year-old ancient trees he had seen before were far inferior to these big trees in front of him. Here, any ancient tree was more than 10 meters in diameter. It was incomparably huge and went straight into the sky, blocking the sun. What is this place? Is this the world inside the gate of heaven? Lu Ming thought, what a rich heaven and earth spirit qi. Lu Ming realized that the spiritual qi of heaven and earth here was extremely dense. Even if it couldn't be compared to Tianqian City, it wasn't too far off. One must know that the profound Sky City was built on top of an enormous spiritual eye. Whatever, let's go find Xianxiang and the others first. Lu Ming rose into the air and stood high in the sky, observing the surroundings. As far as the eye could see, there were ancient trees like this everywhere, extending all the way to the horizon. Lu Ming randomly chose a direction and flew forward. Caw! Lu Ming hadn't even flown 50 miles when he heard a sharp cry. Above his head, a huge fiendish aura pressed down on Lu Ming. A huge bird charged at Lu Ming. What a big bird! Lu Ming looked up and was given a big fright. This huge bird had a wingspan of at least 50 meters, and its claws gave off a metallic luster as they swiped at Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not dare to be careless. His wind and thunder spear appeared, exploding with all his strength as he thrust his spear at the giant bird's claw. Clang! The sound of metal colliding could be heard. Sparks flew in all directions where the wind and thunder spear collided with the giant bird's claw. Lu Ming felt a huge force as heavy as a mountain rushing toward him, causing his body to fall rapidly. Whoosh! Lu Ming stepped on a branch with the tip of his foot, and a huge force was unleashed from the tip of his foot toward the big tree below. Bang! The big tree exploded, sending wood fragments flying in all directions. This huge bird is so powerful. Lu Ming felt that although this huge bird was only equivalent to the peak of the 6th-layer Martial King realm, the force it unleashed was not any weaker than Lu Ming's. Could it be a mutated beast with the bloodline of ancient divine beasts or ferocious beasts? Lu Ming was startled. Many demonic beasts possess the bloodline of ancient divine beasts or ferocious beasts, which made them extremely powerful, far stronger than demonic beasts of the same level. The serpent dragon was a typical example, as it possessed the bloodline of a true dragon, making it extremely powerful. Any serpent dragon had the strength of a martial king realm cultivator. The strong ones were even more terrifying. Squeak! The huge bird seemed to be infuriated after failing to kill Lu Ming with its attack. It let out a shriek and flapped its wings, causing a gust of wind to sweep toward Lu Ming once again. How bold! Extreme Tao strike! Whoosh! The spear pierced through the air and penetrated the giant bird's body. Bang! Following a loud explosion, blood splattered everywhere. The spear penetrated one of the giant bird's feet. The giant bird let out a furious shriek in pain before flapping its wings rapidly and flying into the distance. It was trying to escape. This giant bird is definitely a mutated beast. How powerful! Despite being only a 6th-layer martial emperor, it was only slightly injured by my extreme Tao strike. Lu Ming exclaimed. Previously, no one below the greater success stage of the martial emperor realm was able to resist Lu Ming's extreme Tao strike. However, this giant bird was only slightly injured. While Lu Ming was immersed in his thoughts, a shocking sight took place. Whoosh! Suddenly, 2 enormous tentacles stretched out from the forest below the giant bird and wrapped around the giant bird. The giant bird let out a terrified shriek, but it was useless as it was dragged down. The next moment, the shriek came to a stop. What? What kind of monster is this? Lu Ming was dumbfounded. Roar! Before Lu Ming could calm his thoughts, a shocking roar could be heard coming from the distance. Following this, Lu Ming saw a black dot dashing toward him. The black dot enlarged rapidly, which turned out to be a giant ape. The giant ape was definitely over 200 meters tall, like a mountain. Bang! The giant ape stomped its foot on the ground, causing the ground to tremble violently. A strong gust of wind swept the place, causing the ancient trees to explode into pieces. The giant ape reached out its hands and grabbed a giant octopus from the woods. It was obvious that this octopus was the one that had killed the giant bird. He pinched the octopus to death, then opened his mouth and bit off one of the octopus tentacles. He chewed on it a few times and swallowed it. Roar! The giant ape let out a deafening roar and stomped its feet, causing the ground to rumble. The giant ape's body shot into the distance like a cannonball, turning into a black dot and disappearing. Nest, 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 nest. What the hell is this place? Lu Ming withdrew his aura and hid behind a large tree branch in the distance, cold sweat dripping down his back. That giant ape was too strong, infinitely close to the Sea of Spirit Realm. It had even reached the Sea of Spirit Realm. With such strength, it was already a peak overlord in the Tianshan region. It seems like I should keep a low profile in this place. Otherwise, I won't even know how I died. Lu Ming landed on the ground and withdrew his aura. He chose a direction and ran carefully. Wasn't flying in the sky courting death? If he was discovered by a powerful demonic beast, he wouldn't even be able to fill the gaps between its teeth. Indeed, there were countless powerful demonic beasts living in this land. Lu Ming ran for about 1,000 li and encountered a dozen powerful demonic beasts. None of them were below the Martial King realm. There were even 2 that were not weaker than the giant ape from before. Is that the profound crystal pit? Chapter 566. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He did not expect to find profound crystals in this place. Judging from the aura, it should be a water attribute profound crystal. Lu Ming had no use for it, but he could take it out to exchange. Without further ado, Lu Ming picked up a saber and began to dig. With Lu Ming's current cultivation, his digging speed was extremely fast. In just half an hour, he had dug out a big pit and found 30 water attribute profound crystals. Of course, they were all low-grade profound crystals. There were no mid-grade ones, but Lu Ming was already satisfied. It was just a profound crystal pit. 30 profound crystals was already not bad. Could this be a plane that no one has ever come to? Like the scaled demon plane? Lu Ming guessed inwardly. Then, Lu Ming continued to move forward. Of course, his speed was not very fast. He was afraid that he would accidentally intrude into a powerful demonic beast's territory. However, several hundred li later, Lu Ming stopped again because he found another profound crystal pit. In just a few hundred li, there was actually another profound crystal pit. Lu Ming was shocked. Moreover, this profound crystal pit was a wind attribute, profound crystal. Lu Ming could use it. Without thinking too much, he continued to dig. This time, he dug out 29 profound sense crystals of the wind element. After putting them away, Lu Ming continued to move forward. In the following journey, Lu Ming was shocked. There were so many profound crystals in this mountain forest. He ran for about 10,000 li and came across 9 profound crystal pits. Wind, fire, lightning, earth. A total of 7 attributes. In total, he found more than 200 profound crystals. Haha, this is simply a holy land. How many profound crystals can I find if I turn this place upside down? Lu Ming's eyes shone brightly. However, Lu Ming found a problem. There were no spiritual herbs in this place. Occasionally, he saw a few stalks, but they were all grade 1 and grade 2. High-grade spiritual herbs seemed to have been plucked. There's a profound crystal pit. At this time, Lu Ming found another profound crystal pit. Just as Lu Ming was about to dig, he felt a strong sense of danger. The hair on his body stood on end. Danger! Lu Ming did not hesitate. His figure soared into the sky and landed on a tree branch. Pum! A beam of sword aura flashed past, and a bottomless hole appeared at the spot where Lu Ming had been standing earlier. Little bastard, your reaction is quite fast. An old man's figure appeared with a sneer. Old man, it's you? Lu Ming's eyes. This old man was the Thunder Palace Master. What? Surprised to see me? Let's see who will save you today. Thunder Palace Master's eyes flashed with cold, killing intent. You think you can kill me? Lu Ming sneered. Hee, Lu Ming, I have to admit that you are indeed very lucky. You were ambushed by the Heavenly Corpse sect midway. Everyone else is dead, but you are still alive. I thought you had died long ago. The Thunder Palace Master sneered. Could it be that you're the one who informed the Heavenly Corpse sect? Lu Ming asked. That's right, it's me. Lu Ming did not expect the Thunder Palace Master to admit it. Boom! A strong killing intent erupted from Lu Ming's body. His voice was cold as he said, Old man, I didn't expect it to be you. Earlier, when he had asked that question, it was merely a casual question to test the waters. He had never thought that it would actually be the Thunder Palace Master. He had always thought that the one who betrayed the Heavenly Corpse sect was the Shang clan. That's right, it's me. I was the one who leaked your information to the Heavenly Corpse sect. Look at how good I am. I found dozens of people to accompany you in death. Unfortunately, you didn't appreciate it. However, it's the same if I send you down now. The Thunder Palace Master sneered. Old man, I'll definitely kill you. Lu Ming's killing intent soared to the sky. This old man actually sacrificed so many Empyrean Divine Guards in order to kill him. He was simply insane. Kill me? Dream on. Die. The Thunder Palace Master yelled as the aura of a ninth-layer martial king burst out. With a wave of his hand, a thunderous sword appeared in his hand. Dandan, smash! Lu Ming patted Dandan. Shush! Dandan was sent flying toward the Thunder Palace Master. Buzz, buzz! The Thunder Palace Master glared at Dandan with a bolt of lightning the size of an arm. However, it was useless. Dandan rushed past it and continued to smash toward the Thunder Palace Master's face. The Thunder Palace Master's expression changed slightly. He quickly retreated and threw out a slap. The slap was too fast. Dandan could not dodge it. Dandan was sent flying far away. What's the use of these unorthodox skills? Die! The Thunder Palace Master yelled. Lu Ming sighed. The Thunder Palace Master's cultivation was too high. Even Dandan's sneak attack was useless. Without hesitation, Lu Ming turned around and ran away with the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. Since he was not a match for the Thunder Palace Master, he could only retreat first. Want to leave? Stay! The Thunder Palace Master bellowed furiously. Moving his body, he charged toward Lu Ming like a bolt of lightning. His speed was as fast as Lu Ming's. Buzz, buzz, a thunderous sword slashed toward Lu Ming. True Dragon Strike. Lu Ming thrust out his spear. A tricolor true dragon flew out and pounced on the thunderous sword. Puff! The thunderous sword pierced through the tricolor battle dragon and instantly destroyed it. However, the thunderous sword did not stop and continued to shoot toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming's face turned solemn as he blocked with his spear. Dang! With a loud explosion, Lu Ming's body was sent flying like a cannonball. He heavily slammed into the ground and created a deep pit. Puff! Lu Ming coughed up a large mouthful of blood. His body was injured. If not for the fact that Lu Ming had already comprehended the thunder concept and had already cultivated it to the late stage of first-level initial success, which offset a portion of the power of thunder and lightning, he would have been seriously injured by this move. 9th layer Martial King Realm powerful indeed. I can't fight against him now. Run. Lu Ming did not hesitate as he rushed out of the pit and ran forward with the 9 dragons, heaven-stomping steps. I told you, you can't escape. The Thunder Palace Master's voice was cold as he chased after Lu Ming. The Thunder Palace Master had comprehended the thunder intent, and his speed was too fast. Lu Ming could not escape at all. Boom! Lu Ming and the Thunder Palace Master exchanged blows. This time, it was even more miserable. His body was emitting smoke and almost turned into charcoal. It was as if his body was about to split open. Lu Ming rushed out of the pit and coughed up a large mouthful of blood. He looked at the Thunder Palace Master with murderous intent. Run, why aren't you running? Let's see where you can run to. Today you will die. The Thunder Palace Master walked over step by step with incomparable coldness. Today it's not certain who will die. Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of ruthlessness as the thunderous power emitted from his forehead. He was preparing to control the Thunder Cauldron to deal a fatal blow to the Thunder Palace Master. After using the Thunder Cauldron, he would definitely be weakened. This place could be said to be extremely dangerous. However, at this point there was no other way. Whoosh! Dandan flew back and emitted light beside Lu Ming.